抱えて部屋の片隅いつも不安で震えてた本当を知ることが怖くて扉を閉じた優しい嘘に居場所を見つけて夢の中に逃げ込んだ誰も知らない孤独の海を深い青に染めてく寂しさ隠す一途な想い君の心を傷つけている瞳の奥の秘密吸い込まれそうな笑顔の裏の真実に柔らかな愛僕が届けに行くよ触れたら壊れそうなぬくもりが今過去離れ溢れ出すずっとそばにいるから悲しい影に惑わないで
What was that, gang? What was that we saw before us? Anyone want to wager a guess? I do believe that that was Magical Girl Lyrical Nanaha TV Series 1, and that is coming your way on Blu-ray disc. How about that? Welcome to the over 1,000 people who are hanging out. Look at all these people. Is anyone with me? Guys, who's...
Woo! Hello, hello, everyone.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah,
And,
Hello.
we made the big
unlike
sideways...
Twitch,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, unlike Twitch, these numbers don't seem a little sus.
Yeah.
Like everyone's kind of seeing the same numbers, which was not happening on Twitch.
Yeah, we kind of did a sideways jump. We wanted to, we know a lot of people watch YouTube, and we also thought we could get better video quality here. That certainly seems like the case so far. And so, yes, Lyrical Nanoha TV Series 1, 13 episodes of two-fisted magical girl action. This is a magical girl show that is all about the fighting, and it is good stuff. And this one is an upscale. And
It is, but it's a really nice upscale.
Yeah.
We didn't do it. Can't take credit, but it real pretty.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
it is.
from Japan.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's the same upscale from Japan. Yes.
okay. And it does include the dubbed version that came out on DVD. I don't want to think about how many years ago now. More than a few.
Just aging us rapidly as we talk about it.
Yeah.
This is like old Bandai, right? I
Yep.
think. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Genion, yeah.
Was it Genion?
Or is it-
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought
you're
it was.
right.
I thought it was
That
Genion.
was Genion.
You're right.
Genion? Yeah, you're
It
probably
was
right.
Genion, and then it. Was this one of the ones that Funimation absorbed for like 30 seconds?
Yeah, they had like
Yeah, I
one
think
print
so.
run, and it was one of those. You looked at it at the store, and you were like, "Ooh, that's back in print. I should get that," and then it disappeared before you know it. But we're bringing it back.
Yep.
It's coming out next year in 2024. And welcome to our rapidly expanding audience to the Discotek panel. I wanted to go minimalist this time. I hope you guys like it.
I love it.
Well, as the advertisement was saying in the run up to this one, it's not that spooktacular because we're not that close to Halloween this time. But it is the Discotek panel, and I just want to say boo, and online
Hey.
panel, and it is fairly close to Friday the 13th. So I just wanted to say to give a warning and say danger. This PowerPoint slideshow is actually haunted. If you look really close as we go through the program, you'll notice that there's a skeleton in this slideshow.
Ooh.
Creepy stuff. So
Terrified.
hang in a minute, guys. We're going to introduce ourselves and talk about what we're going to talk about. But before that, you know how this goes. We got to juice you guys up with even more cool announcements. So let's roll the next clip. All right. So to go back to the show, I very rudely skipped the skeleton and the hot rod, the licensed rescue vehicle, because what you just saw, Handmade May, did come out on DVD many years ago, and we rescued it. And now here's a peek behind the scenes, guys. This is the holding slide that we put in the program when we run the clip. So this is how I know which clip I'm supposed to run. Very high tech. But as you saw, Handmade May coming to Blu-ray and coming to real Blu-ray. That's very interesting because this was an early Digipaint show, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah, look, I can't say that this looks like brand new animation or something. It very much does not. It's a early Digipaint show. It's a little jaggy. There was no even point in using an AI to upscale this because it just would have shown the underlying jaggies in the original artwork. That said, we cleaned it up quite a bit, and it's a significant upgrade over the DVD releases, including no more burned-in signed subtitles. There's a lot of stuff we did better this time, so it's worth the upgrade, I think.
I'm sure we can reassure you that there's not a puzzle to get to the first episode when you put the disc in there.
Right, God, that was a thing.
Yeah,
well,
when DVD...
one of those really, really early DVDs that, they tried to do so much with them and it kind of backfired for them.
Yeah. Yeah, so the annoying side character had a puzzle that you had to solve to get to the main menu of disc 1. And it drove people nuts. And now
it's not popular.
What people don't know is that the Japanese was on there as well. They actually did this in the Japanese disc too. And the original Pioneer discs had both, but there was no way to access the Japanese audio. We have both, and we subtitled it.
Yeah.
So on the extras, you can toggle the audio to change what you want to listen to. It'll be subtitled if you're in Japanese, and if you're in English, it'll play the dubbed version of those extras. They're all new translations too, so they've never been translated before. So that should be cool for people who want that.
Want new stuff. I loved watching the channel react to this because there are plainly a lot of you who had never seen or heard of Handmade May before. And we're like, wait a minute, she's actually really tiny. And I'm just like, yeah, some folks they have a kind of a fetish where they want a girlfriend, but they want her to be like pocket sized. That's who this show is for.
I remember the two things that struck me about this show, seeing it originally, was that it was actually really USB ports, like not some fake thing they made up. Like it's real actual USB ports, which were really new then. Oh, like I'm guessing that's why.
Speaking of that, sorry, please continue.
I was gonna say the second thing was that the rival character was 100% so much Jinai from El Hazard that they just used the same voice actor.
Yep, exactly, Jinai.
Yeah.
But I was going to say about the USB thing, the menu on this is really well designed where each selection is like you plug in a USB and it goes into the menu selection you choose, which is really cool to me.
Yeah, our menu designer, Gary, went above and beyond on this one. In fact, this show, I can't imagine this show getting a better treatment. We really went the extra mile on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you were being like, I have to include this stuff, so I have to do this for all those promos.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if all of those weird esoteric extras had to be reverse engineered from the old DVD, and that was rough.
Yeah, well,
I was giving you like here's how to you can kind of rip this. I was giving you weird script stuff. I remember.
Well, if it's there and we can get it and we're allowed to use it, we have to include it. That's one of our ethos.
The Discotek way,
Yeah, that's the Discotek difference. Yeah, but so Handmade May, also one of the first anime to have maid characters in the early 2000s. This was one of the shows that kickstarted that trend, which is kind of still going, which is kind of impressive. But that is a early classic harem anime of the early 2000s, and that is coming your way in 2024. I'm gonna drop a little hint. If you like harem anime, you're probably gonna have a pretty good night tonight. We got some good classic ones that we're going to be announcing soon. In fact, this next clip we're going to show, this one definitely qualifies as a harem anime, and it's also an isekai. But it's not the usual isekai. It's not the isekai where the main character goes into an ancient fantasy world. He goes into a different world, a more parallel world. All right. So that is Duel Parallel Trouble Adventure, and that's coming to standard def on Blu-ray. Now you might have noticed that that looked a little bit soft and blurry, and that was not something that could upscale very easily. So we'll be presenting that in standard def. What was it like putting that one together, guys?
Geneon stuff tends to be pretty well subtitled already, so we don't have to do much to those. But yeah, we tried to make this HD, and it didn't look good enough to bother with HD on this. So we just kept it SDBD, and I think it looks better off for it.
Yeah, I love
this is one of those like, you can really tell it's an AIC show. They're like digital has that sort of like soft look to it. Like if you go and watch the intro to like Bubblegum Crisis 2040 or whatever, it like looks exactly the same with the same like extra motion and all that, and it's very soft.
I believe this show has some sort of Tenchi tie-in.
Well, it's created by Masaki Kajishima, and I don't know if there is an anime specific thing, but he has gone on record and said yes, this is connected to Tenchi Muyo. It may be a thing that's in the novels or some of the comics.
So
but
same universe.
Yeah, I liked the people saying like Tenchi. I'm just like, yeah, you're definitely supposed to think of Tenchi when you see that character. And let's see, the green-haired girl, she's definitely the Rei Ayanami girl. This thing very gleefully takes bites out of Evangelion and a couple of other shows of the 90s. And of course, this was dubbed in English back in the day. We include that dub. And touched up subtitles and fixing up burned-in signs from the old release too, right?
Yep.
I don't know if that was the case for Duel. It was for Handmaid May, for sure.
Okay.
But much like Handmaid May, this was a very early DVD from the early days. Never mind. Just got confirmation. It was Duel with the burn-in subs, and Handmaid May did not. Just wanted to clarify. So this had a lot of those same like hidden extras from accessing different DVD menu options, a lot like Handmaid May did. So we had to also reverse engineer the DVD and get all those extras out. So there's a lot. There's like 20 minutes of character messages, like some of which you would just pause the menu for like 30 seconds and then it would play. So, I just totally went through all the DVD, just found a bunch of this stuff, had them all translated, subtitled them all. Bunch of promos that you couldn't access on the menus for some reason, but they were on the disc. So we included all those as well. Bunch of weird Easter eggs, really cool stuff. So hopefully this, there's not a lot of episodes, but there's definitely a lot of content. So hopefully that will make your Duel dreams come true.
Alrighty, so this one once again is going to be coming your way next year. Now, 20 minutes into the panel, we should probably introduce ourselves. So
yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Some of you know us. Some of you are new to the panel. Sorry, this is how we always do it. We always gas the crowd up with a whole bunch of announcements front loaded right at the beginning, and then we start talking about ourselves. So why don't we start with you, Justin?
Okay, my name is Justin Savakis. I am supervising producer, and I run Media OCD, which takes care of the bulk of Discotek's production work.
All right. How about you, Brady?
I'm Brady Hartle. I don't even know my own name, huh? I'm Brady Hartle. I'm a producer. I do package design, graphic work. This is my 10th year with Discotek, so I've been my hand's been in a lot of stuff.
Excellent. Congratulations. And on to David.
We'll talk about my first title a little bit later, actually.
Excellent.
Hi, how's everybody doing? Hope you're enjoying the stream so far. I'm David. I am a producer for Media OCD and Discotek. I handle most of the restoration work and stuff on the video side. I also do most of the authoring for our discs. So if you've bought a disc in the last couple years now, then might have made that one.
All right. And last but not least, it's me, Mike Toole. I'm an associate producer. I don't take the lead on a lot of Discotek projects, but I definitely take part in a few of them each year. And mostly I've been the live events guy the last few years. So every time we do one of these panels, online or off, the team will be like, okay, hey, Mike, we're going to do a panel. And then I start to get the outline of the show together. We go over the list of what's happening when. I start bugging people for trailers and artwork. It's a whole process, and it's a lot of fun. But we're happy to bring it to you guys and to keep you informed of our many, many upcoming releases. So let's continue in our haunted journey through the skeletal outline of tonight's program. Now we're going to start by looking at the sizzle trailer to get. Oh wait, we already did that. We already did that. So after the stuff that got you excited initially, we're going to talk about Lupin III tonight. We're going to talk for a little bit of time about Nihon Knights, our live-action film imprint, because we've got news on a few of those to come. And finally, after a lot of teasing, although I will say this isn't the main course, there's even bigger stuff coming. We are going to have a release from Tokutime to talk with you guys about. Tokutime is our tokusatsu, our high energy, high action special effects label, live action stuff. We've got some American cartoon talk, weird old American cartoons. We do those sometimes. Maybe even Universal HD or Ultimate HD, Ultra HD. That's what it's called.
Yes, that's the one.
Any of those work for me.
I knew one of you would correct me. I don't actually. I confess, I actually have several UHD discs and still have not bought a player or a 4K TV. That's looking to change soon, finally.
Yeah, no, it's time. It's time.
It's time.
I mean,
there's enough content now, and part of that is our fault.
I think
Yes.
honestly, if you were an early adopter, like it's only now that the lower cost TVs have good HDR or at least better HDR. Like a lot of the early and cheaper TVs with HDR aren't that great. So like you sort of dodged a bullet waiting, I think.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some older stuff and some newer old stuff, like stuff from the early 2000s. I think of that as like that's the new classics. It's not like the stuff from the 70s and 80s that is like the true kicking it old school, but there's newer stuff. Those are classics now too. We've got some dub news, some pretty significant dub news actually, but we'll be getting to that a little bit later. And more of what we like to call kitchen sink discs, where we absolutely load the disc to the point where it blows past your notion of the special edition. It is so completely jammed with features and extras and alternate takes and all sorts of stuff that there's barely any room on the disc left afterwards. So we'll have a few of these to talk about, and some nice surprises at the end. We always try to save something big and momentous for our last announcement, and we're definitely going to do that tonight. So that's our agenda for this evening. We'll start by talking about Lupin III, because Lupin III is one of our perennials. We're always interested in releasing more Lupin stuff, and these are the ones that we've done so far this year. Hope that you've picked up a couple of these. These are of course television specials. Those are a lot of the remaining Lupin III content that has not yet been released in English, because that's kind of the last frontier at this point. It's
yeah,
right.
We're
right?
closing in on the end there. Yeah, we're pretty close.
If you're a Lupin III fan, you've been eating good for like the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean Lupin III, Bye Bye Lady Liberty was my first project as a producer at Discotek, and package designer, and I've worked on all of the Lupin since then, and there's only a few specials left, and technically, like, I guess, let's see, we've done all parts of it. If you count DVD, we've done like everything but like a few of the specials, I think.
Just a few of the specials. I believe it's 4. I was going to challenge the channel to list all 4 of them, but I don't even have the list in front of me now. But and I will jump in and say, Brady, that I came in a little later, but Bye Bye Lady Liberty, that was also my first Discotek project. That was Reed Nelson saying, "Hey, I'm doing a commentary for this, but I need a partner for it. Do you want to do it?" And that's what it took to get me on board.
Yeah, I mean, Reed is the one who connected me with Discotek 2. He was like, "Hey, this guy wants to work on Castle of Cagliostro," and at that point, we had not did, or I might have not even finished the contract. And the owner was like, "Well, I have all this other stuff I need done. Do you want to do this?" I was like, "Okay." And then 10 years later, I'm like the person who does Lupin now.
Well,
yep, that's your role in life. We'll put
Big
Lupin on your
round of
gravestone.
applause.
Well,
Round of applause for 10 years, Brady. Round of applause.
God. We're closing on the end of Lupin, though. Almost. We're close.
Well, I think we've teased people enough. Let's look at a brief clip because we got more Lupin coming.
どんな願い事も叶うという魔法のランプの恐るべき秘密、危険がいっぱい、恐怖のアラビアンナイト。
ルパン三世スイートロストナイト、魔法のランプは悪夢の予感。
次週放送よ。
テレビ初登場。
I like the brevity of some of those promo clips. They just slap you right in the face. Yep, Sweet Lost Night. It is coming to Blu-ray, baby.
There you go, Sweet Lost Night, and it's very fancy, obviously created with a Japanese font English logo.
Yep. It's something about the monotype text where it's just like, show me that weird slanty exclamation point.
Yeah, so this one, so like I said, I've been working on Lupin for about 10 years, and I've been deinterlacing these specials for 10 years. This one was a pain to get to progressive. This actually went through like 3 or 4 like proof passes.
Feels like more.
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4, and I feel bad for Elaine because Elaine, our assistant, also production assistant, had to watch this like 3 times, and every time she went through it, like she was like, "I found more. Oh my god!" And there's this, and it was almost always something that like we couldn't really let pass. So we went through and did it, but we got this thing to progressive. It's really nice. It's got like a nice clean upscale. Japanese with subtitles. I mean, there's not really any huge extras on this. There are liner notes though, going over the translation. It's a thing. But we got this one done, and it's coming. And buy more Lupin, and we'll bring you more Lupin. That's what we always say.
Yep, there are less than 5 specials, so we don't want to overcommit. You never want to promise more than you got planned. But as usual, if you keep buying these, we're probably chances are we're going to find a way to keep bringing them to you until your shelf is full.
This one, I will say, this one is a fun one. Like this is a fun special. This and the last one are pretty fun.
Yeah. Not all Lupin III specials are created equal, but this is definitely a pretty decent one. Okay.
Can you go back 2 slides real quick, Mike? I want to point out something.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Swallowtail tattoo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The Swallowtail tattoo logo is that font because Logan said you couldn't make a logo with the Virtual Fighter font, and I wanted to prove him wrong. That's why that's...
I recognize that immediately. I hope everyone of a certain age recognized that font.
Amazing. He was like, you can't make another logo with this font, and I was like, challenge accepted.
And look at that.
Anyway.
You done it.
Looks pretty good, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I was like...
All right. So let me...
Sorry, I just
let me barrel through the PowerPoint again. It's cool. It's cool. Now, some of you may know, we don't just do Japanese animation. We dabble in live-action cinema from Japan, and we have a sub-label for that called Nihon Knights. And we've got a couple of new releases from Nihon Knights coming your way soon, and we wanted to tell you about them. So let's look at our first trailer.
人間になんてなりたくない。
ベムにもう一つの最終回があった。幻の最終回。
探してみます？これか。今日は君たちに転入生を紹介する。
ベラちゃん
綺麗だね。
家族は
彼らを見た。人間じゃない。彼女はなんて言った？
闇に
死なない人々がいるんですよ。
孤独感？不安感？なぜここにいるの？
ベラ。
嫌い怖い黒い夢に
誰もあなたを分かってない。人間になんてなりたくない。でも
そうだよ。ベラとベロは
妖怪人間ベラ。
Well, that is a trailer that goes pretty hard, huh?
Yeah, it's this movie that spoke to us directly because it is literally about the people remastering Humanoid Monster Bem for DVD.
That's the plot of the film. See, I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing, and it goes real hard. It's quite a film. So it involves the world of Humanoid Monster Bem, but with the understanding that it is a classic anime being restored, and what befalls the people who make the DVD. It's pretty incredible.
Oh, that's cool. So the original show is cursed, and it goes after everyone, huh?
Yep.
Oh boy. And
God help us if we ever get that show.
I believe the thing is they find an alternate end, like last episode, and then they watch it, and then it curses them. So it's like in that spooky kind of vibe that we're going for tonight, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's by the writer of Cheese Sweet Adventure.
And it has a face that some of us may recognize. Win Morisaki. He was the main character's buddy who turns into he was the guy who turned into the Gundam, right? In Ready Player One.
I don't see that movie.
I was going to be nice and not make that joke. I was going to be like, guys, Ready Player One, just dead silence.
I just love how Justin said something completely normal, but with his voice alone threw the most amount of shade possible at a movie. I mean, literally all you said was, I didn't see that movie, but you said it in a way that
just dripping with disgust.
We all know what you're really thinking, Justin.
Yes.
Would not soil my eyeballs with that movie.
And this comes with two audio mixes.
Like a chump.
I also saw it in theaters.
I didn't particularly enjoy it very much, but I saw it in theaters.
We're getting off
It
the
is
subject.
one of the films ever made.
We're getting off the subject a little bit, fellas. So this has got two audio mixes, Japanese 2.0 and 5.1. And it comes with a trailer, which I believe is what we just watched.
Yep.
Yeah, right. No extras for this.
New translation and everything, though, I assume, right?
Oh, yeah. Had to do from scratch.
Cool. All right, so this one is actually right around the corner. It's going to be coming out soon in December. So that's Bela, Humanoid Monster. And let's look at our next trailer, which may be known to some of you who are into video games. Check it out.
女の子だけにかかる呪いって知ってる？ええ。深夜0時ぴったりに昨日でも今日でもない瞬間にあの子の写真を見ると死ぬ。あや、今日も来ない。なんで部屋にこもってるの？呪い？あんたたちの学園の言い伝え。もう終わったはずなのに。あや？
昨夜菊野部一樹さんが行方不明となり、
あやがかけたんだよ。だっておかしいじゃない。幽霊みたいに現れて。
私の呪いを解いて。
あれは私じゃない。 私にそっくりな女の子。一緒にこの女の子の謎を解いてほしい。今は私と綾でのライを止めないと誰も止められない気がするの。昨日は3人も消えたの。
発見された少女たちの死因は。
どこに行っちゃうの？次の0時の死者は誰？
ずっと待ってたの。
劇場版ゼロ。
Sorry, fellas, I don't think the clear frame comes with our release, but you know, as we saw in the trailer.
The clear file.
But yeah, Fatal Frame is coming out on Blu-ray, and we know this is from the hit game franchise. This movie is also known as Zero, or I think in some places Fatal Frame Zero. But another creepy horror movie coming your way.
This is a pretty cool movie. I mean, it's kind of loosely based on the game, but
yeah, loosely.
Loosely. I mean, it's still a cool movie, though. I didn't have much contribution to this, but I thought it was a neat. You know, I kind of know Fatal Frame. Like my contribution was I had the Fatal Frame logo from when I used to work on video games, and I gave it to them. But it's a cool movie.
Thank you, Brady.
Yeah. Thank you. It is a new translation also, I believe, new subtitles, and we have a teaser, trailer, TV spots as extras. So,
yeah, if you're into J-horror, you don't want to miss this one. It's a good one.
All right, so that's Fatal Frame coming in 2024, and up next, really happy to see this one again. I will warn you, the formatting of this trailer is a little odd. We'll talk about that once we talk about the release. So let's watch our next Nihon Knights trailer. All right, and here we go.
A number of people knew this one.
Yeah, knew it right away because this actually came out many years ago. I believe from Viz back in the day on DVD. But we are bringing it to Blu-ray. Kamikaze Girls. And this is going to be in full HD, despite the trailer we just saw. That was just the format of the trailer that it came in, right? It was matted with the subtitles placed there already.
Something like we didn't get any of the bonus features up in HD. Only the film.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, all of them were SD on for what we got. The subtitles there are not burned in though; they are ours. So.
Yeah. Let's talk about this translation a little bit. So when this first came out, it was what most Japanese movie studios do for international translations, which they aim it at like movie critics and film buyers who don't know beans about Japanese pop culture. We have the luxury of assuming that our audience knows a little more. So we were able to not dial down the Japanese pop culture weirdness and make this much more faithful. We really drastically fixed up the translation on this one. And I think it's much more understandable now for people that know their Japanese stuff.
Yeah, I did see that there were people in the chat clamoring for the original title to be restored to the top, and like, no, I think the original filmmakers, for some reason, love the Kamikaze Girls title because it's always been under that title in this market.
Well, on the subtitles, I did include both titles.
Yeah,
so,
noticed that.
I think that will, on every extra in the movie as well. So, yeah, it will have both for those who want the other one. So this disc is packed.
Before you go on, like, what is the other title, just so people know?
It's Shimotsuma Story, Shimotsuma Monogatari.
Which I believe is a small town she's from, right?
Yes, that is where the film is set. So yeah, as I said, this release is borderline kitchen sink. It's got so much. And everything is brand new subtitles, newly some things were previously translated, but all the subtitles have been very vastly improved if they had a translation that existed before, including, as Justin explained earlier, the movie itself. We had a translator go over it, then I went over it as well. And I mean, yeah, so like we said, like we just wanted to get this up to our personal standards for disco as far as our translations go. Many live action films don't meet it, so this was the one that I personally really liked, so I really wanted to give it the best treatment I possibly could. There's, as you can see there's a making of documentary, there's interviews with the cast, director, production designer, heads of animation from Studio 4C who made the small animated segment in that movie. There's work print footage, there's teasers, the trailer you just saw, there's television commercials, an international trailer, I think Viz cut, that was kind of like a mini music video or something, not really a trailer, but there's also an omake, there's also a short film about the origin of one of the side characters in the movie, and there's a music video from Natsuchiya, who plays Ichigo, one of the main characters in the film. So this is one of these releases where you might have seen it a long time ago, or you might just be discovering it for the first time, but I think that it really does deserve a watch. It's got that campiness to it. It's got like because Tetsuya Nakashima, the director, got his start in TV commercials in the late 80s. So it's got a really interesting and unique visual style that kind of harkens on that kind of commercially kind of look. And this guy, the director, would go on. This is the movie that made him got him attention in not just Japan, but international film circles and film festivals. Like, it won the Grand Prix at Cannes Junior that year. They came out 2004, and then he would go on to make World of Kaneko and Confessions, which got shortlisted at the Oscars in 2009, I think it was. So yeah, this film has overlap with not just fans of anime or Japanese pop culture, but also film communities, and also the Lolita community is very much like, this is I've been told is required viewing for them as well. So there's a lot of overlap in this movie. It's got a good audience for it. So I think
every friend of mine that's a Japanese woman in her 30s was ecstatic about this movie. Like, it's a seminal work. It really is.
And you passed along some stills from this movie, David, just so we could look at the color grading and how the movie actually looks on Blu-ray. Can you talk about that a little?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this came from a 1080p master from the licensor. It was edited and shot digitally. It's almost mid 2000s. This movie came out in 2004. So for its age, it looks quite good. It's got some very intense visuals, very intense grading done, all digital. So we also cleaned it up a bit. It was quite noisy. So we were able to get it looking better than it ever has, and I believe it looks better than some other Blu-ray releases. I'm honestly surprised it's never come out on Blu-ray yet in the US. But I mean, now it is, so I'm very happy about that.
Such a stark contrast from the cover, which is the movie's poster, to the color grading of the actual movie. Like, the movie poster has really flat normal coloring, and the movie itself is
pops
extreme. Yeah,
it
just pops over and over and over again. But yep, that's Kamikaze Girls, and that's coming to you soon. This is one of those movies that I haven't seen it since it came out in North America, and boy, am I ready to see it again. This is a great movie. All right, so I said that we would have a tokusatsu thing, and this is this is not the kind of thing that I think of when I think of tokusatsu, but technically it is, and I'm sure you'll agree. And like I said, we've still got stuff in the oven. It's not ready to come out yet, so this is not the main course. It's just an appetizer. But let's look at a clip from this upcoming film.
以上抵抗やめろ。もう逃げられないぞクソガキが。どうかな。なんじゃ。撃て。 ました刑事部長。ポリマーシステムか。行くぞ。いけてるか。加藤さん。撃つ。加藤さん。待て。待て。
So,
you want some greased up shirtless men? We got that for you.
I was gonna say, you want an oiled up freak in a giant helmet to kick bullets out of the sky? Then look no further than Hurricane Polymer. We're bringing the live action feature film to Blu-ray, and 2016, a few years back now. But this has real tokusatsu lineage, right? Because of Koichi Sakamoto.
Yeah, Koichi Sakamoto, if people don't know, he directed, in America, he directed all of the action sequences in Guyver 2 Dark Hero. That's why they actually look really cool. And he directed Power Rangers for like, I don't know, 15 years or 20 years of it, until he left. And then he went back and then he started doing tokusatsu again, like Kamen Rider Ultraman, all that kind of stuff. And he did Go-Onger and a lot of different, just like direct Sentai. So yeah, he's got like a amazing lineage. And if you know his stuff, especially if you ever seen like Forever Red from Power Rangers, you know that like he knows how to direct action.
All right. And I know the bonus features for this one are still pending. We don't want to jinx it. This one is going to be coming out in 2024. But hey, promises made, promises kept. There's some more tokusatsu, and there'll be some more on the way.
Yep, just a little hint of what's to come.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so, as we all know, Discotek Media... Oh, there's that skeleton again. Discotek Media is your source for weird old American cartoons. We've done several of those, especially as we come into the Blu-ray and standard definition on Blu-ray. We've made a number of interesting rescues of weird old 90s cartoons. And Brady, you worked on most of these, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did the cover for both Sonic and Double Dragon, and I helped out finding materials for Double Dragon, because the problem with these older shows is the materials we get aren't always the best, and sometimes the audio's in mono instead of stereo, and they a lot of times have stereo tracks. Sonic was the one that I worked the most on, because, you know, everybody knows I like Sonic, so you didn't have to guess that one. But yeah, I helped work on Double Dragon and Sonic.
All right, and we got another one of these shows from this era coming out, so prepare to have your socks knocked off by just how extreme this is.
Something's really rocking on planet number 3. Modern man's got prehistoric company. A colossal fossil view, unlike anything before, between the reckless raptors and the extreme dinosaurs.
Did
the audio
lose
cut
audio?
out?
Yeah,
Apparently.
we lost audio, didn't we? Oh, well, you can't have a Discotek panel without the audio weirdly cutting out, huh?
It was too extreme for this.
It was too extreme. Well, let me see if I can cue it again, just so we can experience it in its full majesty.
It might be a YouTube copyright thing.
Number 3. Modern man's got prehistoric company. A colossal fossil view, unlike anything before, between the reckless raptors and the extreme dinosaurs. Extreme, extreme, extreme dinosaurs. Tails that snap like thunderclaps, talking, stalking, raptor traps. Extreme, extreme, extreme dinosaurs. The classic and Jurassic form. Extreme dinosaurs.
Yeah, that is an opening that goes really hard, huh? So it worked that time.
It's extreme.
Extreme. There's like 2 cartoons that are about anthropomorphic dinosaurs like that, and this one is like the complete opposite direction of Dinosaurs, which tries to be like really serious.
Hey, where's it going? Oh no, the cover art got away.
Too extreme.
Too extreme.
There is an animation effect in PowerPoint called credit roll that was just like, it just kind of rolls past lamely, and I loved it. I thought it was perfect, but yeah. And the thing is, you click through it, it's just like, okay, when is the cover coming back? And it just doesn't. But fortunately, Extreme Dinosaurs is coming to SDBD. Hey, if you want a good look at that cover, you can check it out on our socials. That's where it'll be posted. But whole 52 episodes of Dinosaurs to the Extreme, that show from the 90s. This wasn't one I watched or really even remember, but I see people in the channel reacting to it for sure. So it made an impression with some folks. And I read online that this is a Street Shark spinoff. I didn't realize that there were Street Shark spinoffs. That's interesting.
I have to ask our pal Matt Big Muscles if he knows, because he's like into these.
Yeah, they're like side characters who appear in a couple episodes here and there in Street Sharks, and they got their own show.
Oh my god, this is not just a spinoff, it's like a backdoor spinoff.
Oh wow.
Where they quietly introduce the characters in another show and then suddenly they have their own. That's a classic TV move. So we were talking about like this. Can you really describe this as remastered? And David, you said that doesn't really apply, but we did just source it from the best available elements that we could find.
Yeah, so maybe Justin can explain it better than me, but basically these were PAL masters that we received for Extreme Dinosaurs, and we had to convert them to NTSC, and they had a bunch of issues, there are a bunch of audio problems, and it's just not really in the best quality. So we did what we could.
It's really not that bad. Honestly, had we not said anything, most people would never notice. But there's a little bit of frame blending here and there. It's just part and parcel of having to deal with PAL masters. But other than that, they're really sharp. The colors pop. They look pretty good. Oh, also they're mono. That's really the only issue. They're mono.
Yeah, we couldn't source a stereo for this show, so the audio is mono.
We found a German DVD, and we're like, oh yes, there's English audio on here. They sped it up. They sped the whole thing up.
Oh god.
So we couldn't use it.
Yep, that's a move that they do sometimes with those old kids shows. Hey, yeah. I think go ahead, Brady.
I was gonna say, I think the one thing about these old kids shows is you're lucky to even find a master at this point sometimes.
Yeah.
You kind of have to use what you get, if it's PAL or NTSC or whatever. When we did Sonic, we had to mash together 2 or 3 different sources just to do it, because these shows are so old that the tapes have degraded, and they're shows that no company would ever rescan in HD or do anything like that with them. So you're kind of stuck with what you got, and and that's so finding actual NTSC for this is probably possible.
Yeah, but the difference is for Sonic, we were able to source other sources for the video, but for this, we couldn't. So there are some issues we couldn't fix.
Yeah, the way I look at it with old shows like these, there are people in the channel who are just like, oh, I don't know, man, I gotta pass. Hey, every show out there is someone's favorite, so we do the best that we can. Now, as for bonus features, well, no bonus features.
Still the best
Literally
we can
do. Could not find it there.
There just weren't any. But this is coming out in 2024, and I designed the slideshows, the run of the program, and I absolutely made the deliberate choice to go from Extreme Dinosaurs to talking about UHD 4K. to remind you all that Discotek is the premier anime UK 4HD disc publisher, because we have the most that are in print at this moment. We have 4. I think
we're also first to market by a good 8 months.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think Funimation / Crunchyroll and Anime Limited each only have 3 on the market at the moment. So that's market leadership, baby. That's where it's at. And we are delighted to tell you that we are not only bringing something to a new 4K Ultra HD release. This is kind of a license rescue. So let's look at the wonderful trailer for this bewitching movie.
ベラドナ美しい女ベラドナ恋をした女悲しみの足音はまだ聞こえてこない
So, yep. You saw it. Belladonna of Sadness is coming back into print, and we're doing it on 4K UHD, and this one is actually going to be a combo pack. UHD
our
Blu-ray
first combo.
and regular.
Our first one, yep.
Yep. But so you guys used the Cinelicious 4K transfer from a few years ago as a base, but with a new HDR grade, huh? Can you talk about that a little?
It was given to us as a raw scan, which meant we could do things with it. And so we pumped it up to HDR using the same process that we did for Robot Carnival. If you've seen this film, you know the colors are just jaw-dropping. And in HDR, oh my God, it uses HDR to its absolute fullest. I would call it a showcase disc, except this disc is quite, 17 plus, so maybe not. It's got some pretty disturbing stuff, but it's an exquisitely beautiful film, and it looks better than it ever has before. I should mention that because of all the color grading, we did have to grain manage, not grain eliminate, but grain manage this film, and that early 70s film stock is super grainy generally, so it was really, really grainy, and that actually affected some of the compression on previous discs, and it does not affect compression on our discs. So I believe this to be the definitive release.
Excellent. And
you spent a lot of time on the framing and stuff too, right, Justin? You did a lot of TLC to this.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's open matte, but it's also 4x3, and every time I'm like, oh great, I can open up the gate a little bit, I can get a little more of the shot, and then I'd see the edge of a cell, and I'm like, damn it, and I have to go back and redo it. And exporting this took literally 22 hours on my Mac Studio Ultra. So every time I had to go back and redo it, I just started swearing just incessantly.
But yeah, a beautiful and absolutely unique film. And you guys who worked on it, you did me the honor of asking me to come aboard to do a commentary track. And
boy did you deliver! Oh my God, the commentary track.
This is such an interesting film because this movie, the production of this movie coincided with the decline and eventual bankruptcy of Mushi Production, one of the first big anime studios in Japan. And Mushi Production going down was kind of the old world that had to die for the new world to be born. And in the bargain, we got this amazing, unique film. So it was very interesting to kind of dive into the story behind this movie, how it was made. Because there have long been misconceptions about this movie, both in the West and even in Japan, and it was fun to kind of chase that down and shed a little bit of light on it. So I hope you check that out if you happen to grab this disc. And looks like
is this the last of the Anime Rama?
That it is, yeah. With this release, you can now get all three of the Anime Rama, or in this one, Anime Romanesque. That was the rebrand that Mr. Yamamoto wanted to do. He said that the first two were Anime Rama, but this was a level above. This is Anime Romanesque. It's a little bit different. But yeah, that trilogy of films is now going to be available in its entirety from Discotek Media.
And this is, boy, what a capper. I was so honored to work on this movie. This is one of the most important anime ever made, in my opinion.
Yeah, and this has got all of the interviews and segments from previous releases that we've seen, and yeah. So once again, this there was a release of this by another publisher some years back, Cinelicious. That one went out of print incredibly fast, without warning. We're bringing it back to you, and you're going to be able to get your hands on a new and improved version coming next year.
Just to comment on it, it's a little difficult to just describe how much of a benefit the HDR is, but I mean, it is just eye-popping. Like, some shots are just blindingly bright. But in a good way. It really lets the art pop out. The colors are just so vivid and so like bright and colorful, and it's the watercolor painting of the film really gets to shine through that new grade. But like we said before, you can also enjoy it in SDR in 1080p on the included Blu-ray as well, with the same transfer that we exported, just without the HDR.
Yeah, so definitely look forward to Belladonna of Sadness. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at something a little bit more contemporary. A license rescue and kind of an anniversary or like legacy project for Justin. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's look at the clip.
Wrong kind of legacy.
So that is Kurau, the animation, coming to Blu-ray. And Justin, you worked on this one quite a ways back, didn't you?
This was actually my first Blu-ray release. NYAV Post, who I worked with quite a bit at the time, they recruited me and they're like, "Hey, can you make a Blu-ray?" And I'm like, "Never done it." And they're like, "Here, we'll loan you the money for the software." And then they told me that the discs were dub only, and I'm like, "Oh."
I remember that.
Yeah. But the good news is that these are not dub only. These are way better. They have way more episodes packed on there, and I get a do-over. I get to fix the and make the release that this should have been in the first place.
Yeah. I feel like this is a show that a lot of people slept on. This is like a really good action cartoon.
It's actually the director. It's actually the guy that did 12 Kingdoms.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, Tsuneo Kobayashi. Yeah, rest in peace. He also did Victorian Romance Emma. Not exactly the same sort of thing, but
let's not forget Midori Days.
And Midori Days. But yeah, it's quite an action film. This was also the first simul-dub TV series, and I watching that happen in real time. That was interesting because nobody knew what they were doing yet.
Yeah, the publishers now have that down to a science, but this was literally like people having to drive tapes across town, right, to get materials in time.
No, it was being done digitally, but also like there's a schedule kept creeping later and later in Japan.
That's right.
Things kept getting weirder and weirder, and they had like, I think Will Wheaton's in this.
Oh yeah, there are a couple of really fun tidbits if you're a historian of dubbed Japanese animation. It wasn't just Will Wheaton. Our buddy Michael Sinner-Nicholas also sneaked Peter Fernandez into this, the voice of Speed Racer.
Right.
I think this may have been his last voice role before he passed away
cool.
in 2010 or 2011. But yeah, he's in here. That's pretty neat.
But yeah, it's a great little show. I hope people check it out. People definitely didn't get a chance when it first came out, so here it is again.
Mm-hmm. And no word on extras just yet, but this is going to be coming out in 2024. So look forward to Kurokami the animation.
I will say that, yeah, even though the extras are TBD, like this is, if they're all approved, it'll be pretty packed, right? Like there's like a pretty decent amount of things for this.
Yeah, we didn't want to tip our hand because we've had a few issues before where we've promised big on extras, and then our partners in Japan were like, we don't know if we can approve some of these, and then we had to take them off the disc, and we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that everything's set in stone before we announce what we have for you guys. But yeah, hopefully this one is going to be packed. So look forward to it. Keep those fingers crossed. So here, there will be a slide showing all of our Fist of the North Star Legend of the Extremely Long Title releases. Yes, there are. We've been releasing these really neat mid-2000s retellings of various story arcs from Fist of the North Star. Some of it's retellings, some of it's new versions of stories, some of it's new lore to be enjoyed. But these were theatrical films and OVAs from about 10 or 15 years ago. And we've released these in Japanese and also with a brand new English dub starring various people from other iterations of Fist of the North Star. So we've, of course, there was just one last version left, one last volume left of this series, and we're going to be bringing it to you, so you'll get to have the whole set. Let's look at the trailer.
ケンシロウよ、聞かせてくれ。お前の救世主の物語を聞かせてくれ。死神という名のヒーロー誕生の物語を。北斗の拳ゼロ、ケンシロウ伝。
Yeah, so this is the final piece of this particular Fist of the North Star puzzle. Legend of the True Savior, Legend of Kenshiro. Here is a legendary tale of a legendary hero whose legendary power is legendary. But yes, this is the final of the exciting Legend of the True Savior movies. You get to see an untold piece of Kenshiro's origin, and in Japanese with subtitles, new English dubbed version from our buddies at Sound Cadence. And these ones in particular, I find them fun because the camp factor for me is quite high, like the silliness, just because there's a little bit of camp in all Fist of the North Star. In this particular series, like, they always had a great actor to play Kenshiro. They had Akira Kamiya in the original, they had Takeda Koyasu in the OVAs that came later. This one has like a handsome TV and film actor playing him. It's stunt casting. They actually went ahead and did a stunt casting for Kenshiro. And the guy he's good. He can do like the stoic tough guy voice and the anguish screams that you were hearing in the trailer. He cannot do like the 100 crack Fist of the North Star though. He can't do the They have to do all these weird vocal effects to kind of make it work, and I find it very very entertaining. Fun films. But bonus features, there's trailer, there's some more TV spots, and there were some really funny dub bloopers earlier in this series that we included on one of the discs. The rest of them are from here. So if you like bloopers and outtakes, there's some really, really good ones on this one. And this is going to be coming in to finish up the series in 2024. But let's take a quick peek at the cast and crew sheets. We didn't have a dubbed clip ready to show you, but we wanted to make sure that you database animals out there, you otaku who love to fill in the blanks, We wanted to make sure you knew who was gonna be participating in this one. Of course, Robbie Daymond, who played Kenshiro in the Sega video game, the Fist of the North Star Yakuza game. He returns as the character in this series, so that's pretty cool. We got some other familiar names. Well, the one I always like to see is Charlie Campbell. He was one of the Monster Island guys back in the day. He was dubbing anime for ADV Films in Austin in the early 2000s, but he is still going. And
he went on to Monster Island, which is also like in Texas too, right?
Well, Monster Island was Austin, yeah.
Yeah, Austin. I thought you said Boston. I was like, oh yeah, what?
No, not Boston. Austin.
Yeah,
AUSTIN. Yeah. And the other thing that I think is a really great touch is the narrator of these films, and the one who plays Ryuken, Kenshiro's teacher, is Lex Lang, who of course played Kenshiro in the old TV dub. So there's a sense of continuity there.
We when in casting these and working with Marissa at Sound Cadence, we really tried to bring in as much of the old cast as we could, even though we couldn't really put together like one of the full casts, if you understand what you know what I mean. Like, so we tried to bring in like everybody who was in it before that we could, and gave them new parts.
Mm-hmm. And we've got the cast of Millions coming in to take care of it, and of course the staff. Got to give them a little love. This one's directed by Damon Mills. I like that Marissa's title in this is project manager, because like that's my title at work, and I like do corporate AV installations. There are all kinds of different projects out there, aren't there?
She's the glue that keeps all this stuff together.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Shout out to Marissa.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout outs to Marissa. But every good production needs a good project manager. And Fist of the North Star, Legend of the True Savior, is no exception. So look forward to the culmination and the completion of these films coming in the new year. Now, we're finally going to go back to a true classic, a film from the 70s, and I think a precursor in some ways to the Castle of Cagliostro. So let's look at a clip from this classic movie. I like that take at the end there. So that is the third actual. There were people like Puss in Boots too. No, this is actually Puss in Boots 3. Puss in Boots Around the World coming to Blu-ray disc. And this is the third and final film starring what people in the chat were calling, hey, it's the Toei guy. It's like, yes, that's right. It's Pero, the famous Puss in Boots, whose original movie adventure, which is available from us on Blu-ray, was so popular, they made him the company mascot, and he remains so to this day. And this one is a retelling of Around the World in 80 Days, obviously, with funny animals. And it does include the wonderful Turner television dub, as well as the subtitled version that we just saw. Real fond of that dubbed version. Instead of Lord Grumon, they call the pig character Sir Rumblehog. I think that's a good name for a pig.
Look how cool that cover looks, by the way. That is a really like evocative and pop cover. Like that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really.
We had some nice artwork on this one.
If you were a kid of the 80s of a certain age, you may have played the video game based on this film. There was a Puss and Boots video game for Nintendo that was based on this movie specifically that came out in America. And it's actually a pretty decent platform game. But yeah, that's something you might have caught sight of back in the day.
And there's even a Captain N episode that had
Puss and Boots
from that game. From that game in it too. It's like a weird connection.
Looks a little bit different. It has he definitely has the Captain N treatment for the character design. Yeah. But we don't know what the extras are on that one. A wonderful, funny animal adventure. It's also kind of amusing to compare this to the first movie. The first movie, it's like Perro and the cats that chase him around are the only funny animal characters. Everyone else are people. This is like almost entirely funny animals. So this that's kind of the way it went. So this is coming out in 2024.
So what you're saying is furries took over the world, huh?
Yes. I mean, of course they did. It's inexorable. It was weird at first, but then we released Sherlock Hound, so you knew it was going to happen.
Yep.
So I want to shift gears now to point out that Discotek Media is your source for harem anime. Oh, it's that skeleton again. Your source for harem anime. Yes, really. If you're really into those shows where it's just like, oh, it's this nice young man and all these girls are here. What is he going to do? Which girl is he going to go out with first? Oh, what a predicament. Yeah, we've released a few of those. We've released a few of them, including some that didn't have the luxury of an English release. These are shows that I've definitely seen get talked about. They're near and dear to some fans, and we're happy to bring them out. There's stuff for everyone. And here is another one, a classic from that era, from the 2000s, that we are going to be bringing to Blu-ray. So let's watch the clip.
僕らなら大丈夫まだ強くなれるから広い空目がけ昨日までの僕を放つ見えすいた嘘も退屈な日々も全部ほどいて新しい朝に目を細め今日も僕たちは生きてく少し波打つ寂しさだって大切に思えてるいつか感じた真実をまっすぐここから明日に向かってる僕たちが目指した世界どんな過去も抱えたままきっとたどり着く険しい道も僕らなら大丈夫まだ強くなれるから
Okay, so this time, folks, the twist is that the boy character is surrounded by all these pretty girls, but this time they're twins. That's the twist. I
love how as soon as the opening revealed that no, it's not just one set of twins that are the characters in the show. Every single girl in this harem is a twin, and the chat just went crazy when they realized that.
Yep. Yeah, this time the girls are sets of identical twins. And which girls, will you, the main character, choose? So that's the question when you watch this show. There are people who are kind of like bagging on this, like, Digipaint. I don't know, man. That looked like a nice upscale to me. What did you guys think when you were working on it?
Honestly, it turned out way better than I thought. Now, this upscale was mostly done in Japan. We had to fix a few things. There are some things that turned out and some things that didn't, and I had to go in and fix a few things Digimon style, frame by frame, quite painstaking. But now I think it's just about perfect.
Yeah. And I think people are also talking about the way this show looks. I think this show in particular was This wasn't like the nightmarishly doe-eyed of the mid-2000s. This was what, by this point, they were starting to graduate to a softer character design. It looks a little bit more appealing to me. I don't know.
This is on the decline of the doe eyes. Like, this is in between somewhere.
Yeah.
It is pretty chaste. It's quite PG rated for a harem show.
Yeah, it's definitely not like your average one. I think it's even, like, dare I say, wholesome.
Yeah, this is one of those shows that people call yashike, like the healing shows. You know, you put it on to just relax and feel nice. Not that way, but yeah.
You had to go there.
But
it was
anyway,
already there.
this,
I just pointed it out.
Yep.
This has subtitles only, no dub.
Yep. Yeah, this was not dubbed in English.
This is the first time it's ever been subtitled either.
Yeah, I was going to say this
Right.
one actually did not come out in English in its heyday, but I remember fans talking about it back then, but it never made the leap.
Yep.
But coming out in 2024 is Futakoi. So yeah, we're starting to close in on the last big stretch of shows, but before that, we need to remind you we have an email newsletter. Oh, it's that skeleton again. So this newsletter that we got, it's been doing pretty good, huh?
Oh yeah, we have thousands of people subscribed now, and if you missed something tonight on the stream, I mean, a lot of us are spending a lot less time on social media these days. You don't have to keep your eyes glued and wonder if you missed something. Mark, who does the Twitter, does the newsletter as well, and he does a bang-up job keeping everyone up to date on all of the latest. So it's definitely something to supplement your Discotek reading.
Yeah, and you can sign up for it by just going to our website, discotekmedia.com, and checking out the right side of the page. That's where the sign-up form is. And there is a new newsletter dropping this very week. So if you run over and sign up for it after this panel, you'll have some fresh dispatches before you know it.
That CG skeleton cracks me up. That's so good that you found that.
Well, that's the miracle of gigantic stock image and footage depositories. I was just like, I want to make something skeleton themed, and I just found all kinds of weird skeletons. It was great.
Thank you, newsletter skeleton, for
Yeah,
your service.
Yeah.
That's the newsletter.
He delivers it right to your email box.
Yes. Anyway, moving on. We are at the part of the panel. We do this pretty much every panel. We like to remind you of the recent and upcoming releases that we've got coming your way on Blu-ray. So
I just want to say we're only on slide 57 of 84. I don't believe that.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit more of the program to go, guys. I'd say if we rush, we got another 20 or 30 minutes. So good solid 2 hours, and then we might stick around and talk to you even more. So we'll see what the vibes are like. Anyway, in this month of October, in fact, I believe these are already shipping, and many of you already have these fine releases. The first Mazinger Z TV collection on Blu-ray, the classic Super Robot series. Cyber 6, near and dear to your heart, right, Brady? That's finally out.
That was my Cyber 6. I started on the Cyber 6 DVD 10 years ago this month. And so it's like a bookend that Cyber 6 is coming out on the same month that I started at Discotek 10 years ago, which is kind of cool.
Wonderfully weird international production, too. It is a Japanese-Canadian cartoon based on a hit comic from Argentina.
Yep. Which and like written by like Spaniards and all this crazy stuff. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff on this Blu-ray. There's new commentaries with writers of the episodes, tons of stuff like that. There's like 50 pages of production documents on the disc if you put it in your Blu-ray player in your computer, PDFs. It's packed with stuff. If you're interested in it, and it's some of the best TMS animation. It's the teams who did it's like the guys who did some of the best episodes of Batman the Animated Series doing their kind of superhero show. So it's really cool. It's really cool and really fun.
Yep. Goku Midnight Eye, which is a classic ultra-violent Yoshiaki Kawajiri cyberpunk OVA series about a private investigator who has an extending staff like Goku from Journey to the West. Only he also has an amazing cybernetic eye that lets him take over any computer. So that's... Oh no, not that old plot again. The Wonderful World of Puss and Boots, the original classic movie. This is a wonderful movie. This became a hit for Toei, and not by accident. It's a great family comedy. Really, really fun film to watch. And we're closing in on the end of Urusei Yatsura TV. This you can tell just from looking at the cover that this is the point where they switch from Studio Pierrot to Studio Dean, because among other things, the character designs get softer and fluffier and cuter. So that's more Urusei Yatsura coming your way this month.
You say that you say that, and I accidentally picked that because like they gave us a bunch of artwork with no like information, and I sort of like accidentally eyed it up that it worked out that way.
Yeah,
but yeah, definitely.
They changed character design. It's I can't remember her name, but it's the same lady that did Ranma 1/2 later.
Kumiko Takahashi, I think.
Yeah.
So Mazinger is the upscale from Japan, or no, not the upscale. Sorry, the remaster from Japan, native HD. Cyber 6 is a new upscale. Looks very good. Goku is a brand new remaster from the 35mm negatives from Toei Video. They did all the work for us. So first time in the world too. So not even in Japan yet. Puss and Boots is also a new remaster from Japan, and Urusei Yatsura is the same remaster as Japan too.
All right. Thanks for filling in those blanks, David. That's something we forgot to mention. Definitely the various sources that we took. I love that we're getting some of these old OVAs like Goku rescanned and coming out as good as they can look. Really cool. So coming next month, we've got even more important anime, including what you could say is the greatest anime ever, Chargeman Ken. But the Aim for the Ace OVA series, the sequel, another match where they play more tennis. That is coming out on Blu-ray. Bullet Train, the 70s disaster movie, not the recent Brad Pitt movie, is coming to Blu-ray. The classic OVA series, Crying Freeman, coming to Blu-ray with all, like, that one is a new scan, newly remastered, and all sorts of extra content, including 2 separate dubs. This one has the alternate dub from Manga Video UK, which no release has ever had before. The Fist of the North Star, Legends of the True Savior, Legend of Furia, this is the one that has the word legend 4 times in the title. Recently, My Sister is Unusual, which got us a 2-day suspension on Twitch for running the trailer to. That one's a little spicy. And in the corner, Street Fighter 2 the movie on 4K UHD.
If you have a UHD player, you want that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes, you do. It's really nice. Packed with extras. It's practically kitchen sink as well.
It is one of the original kitchen sink discs, and we put even more extras on it than were on it before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe
if you're interested in every single model sheet that ever existed for this movie, we got it.
So Aim for the Ace, another match, is the Aim for the Ace 2 OVAs, the sequel to the original TV series. It is a new upscale. It looks as I think as good as Hajime no Ippo's, if you've seen that one. Chargeman Ken is a new HD remaster from Japan. It looks much better than anyone ever would have thought. Bullet Train is also a new remaster from Japan with a new color correction for our release. Crying Freeman, like Goku, was scanned from the 35mm negatives. The entire 6-episode OVA is now in HD. It looks really, really nice. This is the North Star's native HD, and recently My Sister is Unusual is a movie.
It's
air quotes. You can't see the air quotes.
It's a thing that happened. Yes. It happened to us all.
It also has way too many extras for anyone thought it would.
And an unusual amount of extras, you would say?
Thank you.
Yes.
For a smutty sex comedy, yeah.
Street Fighter 2 is a all new scan from the. It's like an interpositive though, right? But it was like
yes,
it's interpositive,
the same
and
source as before, I believe.
Yeah,
but the technology has come so much further.
Yeah, a lot of the old Blu-ray had a lot of black crush and stuff. In this one, you can really see those dark details.
Yeah, and this movie, as a person who has seen every frame of this movie way too many times for one lifetime, has a lot of dark scenes, and it's important to get those details. Mind you, the old master was not terrible or bad, but there's just so much more detail, especially in the first scene where Ryu fights Sagat, and he gets the big scar that becomes his sort of trademark. There's so much more you can see.
That disc really blew up on Amazon last month. Oh my God. I can't believe that that many. I mean, I guess I can believe because everyone has a 4K player now, but yeah, I was very happy to see that people are excited for this.
Yeah, they don't publish sales numbers per se, but they have this neat little gimmick where if you click on the page and it's been popular, there'll be this little line that says, X hundred people bought this in the past month. And yeah, you could actually see that number ticking up for Street Fighter 2. So people with UHD players had been waiting for a release like this, and they turned up in numbers to buy it.
Yep. I mean, it made it all the work because Justin and I killed ourselves on this, and so
yes, we did.
We really killed ourselves, so it made it worth the effort.
Yeah, I would say that this release is the Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo of all releases of this movie.
Okay.
The truly definitive one.
Mm-hmm.
And next is the release calendar for December, and I believe that these ones should be available for pre-order soon. There are actually 7, but we'll talk about these first 6. These are all previously announced, including a couple that were previously announced at this panel. We roll like that sometimes. But the SPT Leisner TV series coming out on the Blue Comet format, Blu-ray. Overman King Gainer. Yeah, I know. Overman King Gainer from the great Yoshiyuki Tomino, wonderful mecha TV series. Lupin III, 7 Days Rhapsody. Bela Humanoid Monster, coming to Blu-ray. Fist of North Star, Legend of the True Savior, Legend of Rao, Chapter of Fierce Fighting, Blu-ray. The back half of Mazinger Z TV collection. And I saw people asking about this in the chat. They want their classic shoujo. And Lady Georgie is coming to standard definition on Blu-ray in December 2023.
At last. The reason that took so long is we had to clear up the proper translation for her last name, and there was some back and forth in Japan on that. It's actually
it's such a silly thing, but yeah, they were like, because her name is Buttman, so they were like, "Is this the correct spelling of this name?" And they had to like check with the original author, I think, and he was like, "Yep, that." Yeah, they were like, "Yep, that's right." So.
It is a historical Australian last name, so
that
checked, and we checked like archives and like things like historically, like are these names spelled like this? And yeah, they are. So
I just like that's such a distinctly anime thing. It's like Buttman, is this correct? We have to check with the original author. Okay, 4 months later, yes.
Really have to belabor the point on the slightly silly name.
Yep.
All right. Did we have any more details we wanted to share about these releases?
No, I think we covered everything.
So, Leisner...
Right.
Right. So, Leisner is the same remaster as Japan got. So, yeah, it isn't native HD. It's rescanned from those film elements. Gainer was a Digipaint show, right? And it looks really good. Is it native, you think?
Yes, it's native 1080i.
Okay, yes. So it is interlaced on the disc, but it looks really good. 7 Days Rhapsody, that was in upscale, is that correct? Brady?
Overman King Gainer? Yeah, that I believe that was
Lupin.
7 Days Rhapsody.
7 Days Rhapsody, yes. 7 Days Rhapsody was an upscale. These are this and Sweet Lost Night are the last 2 SD mastered specials. They're kind of like as far as I can tell, they're like in between standard def and HD, I believe. And so like we cleaned them up as best as we could. This one and the last one, for some reason, had some of the weirdest edits and like Avid speed ups and crazy stuff like that in them, and they were a pain to upscale. But yeah, these are the last 2. And if there are more Lupin movies coming from us, wink wink, from the last few are all HD. So yeah, we've made it out of SD territory now.
Out of SD hell at last.
Yeah, I'm glad not to spend like 2 days de-interlacing and fixing screwed up frames.
But yeah, the rest are all native HD movies. And Mazinger is also native HD, as we said before.
Correct.
Except for Lady Georgie, which is standard definition on Blu-ray.
Correct.
Right.
Yep. But that's one of those, for some of these old shows, they didn't get HD remasters, the materials are not readily available or ready to be scanned in, and this is the best way to get them out there so collectors can have them. And that's how we do it. So, we're coming towards the end of the program, but don't worry, we always have a couple of announcements for the end, but before we wrap it up, we wanted to talk about buying things. Like the skeleton here, he doesn't know how to make a budget. Who wants to help the skeleton make a budget? So what's the deal with Right Stuff and the Crunchyroll store? We knew this would be talked about and asked about. At this point, yeah, it's a little odd the way things have played out, but don't fret, the Crunchyroll store has our stuff. They're going to be taking pre-orders for our new releases soon, and they're going to continue to be a great place to check out our stuff and go shopping on sales days. So do keep them in mind. Also, someone please help me manage my anime Blu-ray budget because my skeleton family is dying. Because I keep buying Skeleton Face bookseller Honda-san and the Flying Phantom ship, which stars a skeleton.
One thing to note is that Crunchyroll Store has implemented the same pre-order discount specials as Right Stuff used to have. So at least that's a good thing, and hopefully they keep that up.
Yeah. There's a few things still missing. It seems that those numbers are diminishing day by day. So we'll just give them a chance to fix all of the things that didn't propagate over, and then then we'll slowly start hunting them down with them. But also, there's always Amazon. If all else fails.
Yeah.
Right. I should also say that there was some talk about live action titles not being included on the Crunchyroll store. That is, for at least for us, all of our live action titles have been ported and they're being sold there. Even recently, my sister is on pre-order on there right now, so I think you don't have to worry about that.
All right.
Yeah, and I mean, it's early days with this, right? So you sort of have to wait it out a little bit and see how.
I'm sure they're still figuring things out over there too. So let's be patient, give them a shot.
Yeah, definitely. But this is something that we knew would be asked about, and we wanted to address it. Now we've got a few more announcements, and unfortunately, there's one issue with jumping from a platform like Twitch, which which doesn't really police its streams that hard. It mostly just goes after video on demand stuff if you break copyright. Unfortunately, YouTube is a little bit more stringent. And our buddy Mark, who handles our social media and our QC, he did a lot of hard work in selecting clips and pre-uploading them to YouTube to see if they would raise copyright strikes or blocks or monetization or other things like that. And for this next announcement, no matter what clip he loaded up, it would get struck down immediately. We would just not be allowed to use it at all. So he decided to just grab a few still frames and alter them slightly. And I'm sure, if you love classic anime, this is a wonderful TV series from the 80s, made by one of the most storied anime directors ever. And we'll show you a few frames because this is all we thought we could reliably sneak past the copyright robots. As you see these wonderful frames of a little girl and her faithful and devoted father, because we are going to be releasing Chie the Brat, the TV series, coming to Blu-ray.
I am so excited for this.
Yeah, I was going to say, Justin, tell us about this one.
Okay, so Chie the Brat is actually the last TV series that Isao Takahata directed. And fans might know that there is a movie that followed a few years later, but this is the series, and it is groundbreaking. It's never been translated before. To our knowledge, there weren't even fan subs of it. And it was actually really hard to translate because everyone talks in a very thick, like cartoonishly thick Osaka Ben.
Yeah.
And it gave our poor translator a headache. It took her a while to get through it. But it's a seinen manga about the unluckiest girl in Japan, who's a little girl being raised by her dad, who's just a worthless thug. And it's very Japan in the 70s, before everything was wood and there was just no everyone's kind of down and out and broke. It's very working class, but it's so charming and so funny. And if you're a Takahata fan, you will see stuff in here that pops up in the rest of his movies from the rest of his oeuvre. It's one of those pinch me shows that I never thought we'd be able to release, and here it is.
Yeah.
And we can't market it.
Yeah. I love the body language in this series. For me, that's the big Takahata touch. The way the characters move, their gaits. Chie's facial expressions, especially. She is like one of the most expressive characters in all anime. And yeah, you can also see in the background there on her left, that's her mom. Her whole situation is that, you know, her parents are separated. They still have some affection with each other, but they just can't make it work. They keep trying, but they just can't make it work. And so she is the unluckiest little girl in Japan. And yeah, all the characters in this, they talk in this crazy cartoon Osaka dialect, which is to say that they talk incredibly fast and say "ya" at the end of every sentence. I imagine the translators had some work to do.
Yeah, also the animals have nads, just like the Tanuki and Pompoko. Yep. So that's something you're going to have to get past.
Yeah, there are some rambunctious cats in this, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's unlike anything else, and we're really taking a chance bringing it out. So I really hope people come out to support it because it's really good.
Yeah, this is an underappreciated piece of Isao Takahata's filmography, so definitely check it out if you are into Studio Ghibli or curious about the history of that kind of corner of the Japanese animation story.
The master of this is True HD, right, Justin? Like a new scan?
Yeah, we for a while we thought it was an upscale, but no, it appears to be a new scan. The thing is, you know, anime of this vintage, this was 81, so the film grain would have been really thick. So they did denoise it in Japan, and so it's just kind of soft because it's 16 millimeter and grainy 16 millimeter. So it is definitely appears to be a new cleaned up scan though.
All right, so I think that's all we got for right now on Chie the Brat. It's coming next year. Next, this is something I'm super excited for because this was a really interesting, cool, and different show that was streamed by one of the major publishers many years ago, and then they abandoned it without ever releasing it on home video. Well, we're releasing it on home video, so let's get pumped and watch the clip. This is Rainbow.
That intro.
Blu-ray. Yeah, that intro goes incredibly hard, but it's appropriate, man, because this is a show that goes incredibly hard. This is a prison drama series. That's what it is.
A youth prison drama.
Yeah. It's kids whose lives have gone horribly wrong, and as I think Daryl Surratt in the chat pointed out, just like, yeah, be careful with this one because this one goes to some dark places.
Yeah, it really does, but it does have a hopeful kind of message towards the end, at least. Like halfway through, it kind of gets a little bit more like hopeful, you know?
Yeah, for me, that's what sets it apart.
I do remember when I was younger, I watched this on like YouTube, and Funimation was like streaming it for free or something like that. And I never thought I would work on this, but I thought I liked it back then. I thought it was good. I totally forgot it existed though, and I'm sure like many people have like forgotten about it as well, since it was kind of just thrown at streaming and then kind of just abandoned later.
Yeah, every once in a while, like we do keep tabs on our social media, and every once in a while on Facebook or Twitter, someone from time to time would be like, guys, you got to rescue this rainbow show. You got to release it. And it's like, as soon as I saw this pop up on the calendar, I'm just like, oh, someone's getting their wishes. That's pretty cool. And,
it's got such cool art too. Like really just dynamic.
Yeah,
it reminds me a lot of like Tomorrow's Joe kind of.
It's well animated, and it takes place in like I think either late 50s or early 60s. So it's Japan's still kind of a shambles, and they're it's kind of hard to live still. So it's good stuff. It's very heavy drama though.
And this one is coming your way in 2024. So that's Rainbow. And we got a couple of more announcements. We're just going to keep barreling straight through these. I'm going to warn you.
Are we on to the races now?
Yeah, we're on to the races. We normally like have the fake ending where we then do another one. We're just going to rush through all of them because we got a whole string of these in a row. But let's start with a promo for a show from a network that always had the best promos, and this is a good promo.
Let's rock and roll.
So that is IGPX, and holy crap, that looked good, guys, didn't it?
Immortal Grand Prix.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, and in fact, it was upscaled with the magic of AstroRes, which is part of why it looks so incredible. Like, if you got this on DVD, and I got this on DVD, it was too interesting to pass up. The masters on that are definitely a little soft. There was a whole extra cut above here because there were some new masters that were found, huh?
Yeah, so this was a journey. This is like a 3 to 4 year journey with our good buddy Jose, and so the lore for this show is that it aired on an HD supposedly, and I see in the chat, well, IGPX was made in HD originally. Well, I don't think so, but it was kind of a in between HD and standard def kind of deal. So we went back and found the original HD masters, quote unquote HD masters that aired in HD back then. They only aired the first 24 episodes. We got those transferred, and they were like, we don't have 25 and 26 in this format because those never aired, but we do have these anamorphic masters for that. Well, when we got those HD episodes transferred, they were the worst broken interlace upscales you could imagine from like 2000, whatever this came out, 2006, something like that. And it was like the worst, most disheartening thing because we thought we had found the actual HD masters for this. But what we learned is from 25 and 26, when I was looking at it, I was like, Jose, this is what we want. This 25 and 26, because they were real deal anamorphic masters. Yeah, anamorphic masters. Whereas the masters before always had letterboxing burned into them. So it was like half the vertical resolution. So that is what we got. And then when we got those, we set upon the task of figuring out how it would be possible to upscale these. And this show is a multi-frame rate show where some stuff is 30 frames per second, some is 24.
Hey, Brady, do you want me to just go ahead while you talk and run the comparison shot between the old master and the new one? Okay, I'll loop that while you keep telling us about it.
Yeah, so we took all this footage, de-interlaced it, figured out what scenes were 30 frames a second, what scenes were 24 frames a second, broke all that out, re-edited it all, sent it to AstroRes, then re-edited it all, and then output it back to 1080i because it's mixed frame rate. And I think this is one of the first time we've ever had to do something like that. But as you can see here, the results are absolutely stunning. And it has been a huge journey, and I can't help but thank Jose for going through all of the trouble of doing the editing. But I gotta say, like, figuring out how to even do this was crazy. And I'm glad that it came out looking so nice.
I always say this about AstroRes upscales, but My God, like if you told me this was native HD, I would just believe you. It just looks so good.
Yeah, I will say that when sometimes when the characters are a little far out in this show, and this is just endemic of the Masters, the lips are a little like sort of like it's when they're really tiny, the lips look a little weird, but like everything else ended up turning out beautiful. And the big hurdle with this too was finding a way to upscale, all the flat footage plus all of the CG robots, and making it look good. And it came out spectacular. I was absolutely amazed.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, the CG, like you can see there, it's also, I mean, obviously it's upscaled as well, but it looks so good, like so natural. You know, I was very impressed when I saw this, when I was working on it.
And the extras for this are not approved yet, so we can't talk about them. There's a lot in play. And,
So what
yeah.
what I will say about this, and we can talk vaguely about it because the packaging is the packaging is, if you don't know, is also like where the approvals for the extras is, and the stuff that came back about on this to change, it was mostly text based, and it didn't mention any of the extras. So if you have the DVD set, and as you know, it included tons of commentaries and trailers and all sorts of stuff like that. That will 99.9% assuredly move forward to this. We can't say for 100% certain, but if you like the DVD set, that stuff is most likely to be on here with very little chance. There's also some other cool new stuff we can't talk about, but this is a packed. This will be a packed disc so long as the approvals go through. Let's say that.
Yeah, we really are hoping for it to be super duper packed. And if it is approved, it will indeed be super, super packed.
We were worried that the menu would not fit in memory. There are so many extras.
Yes, I remember you guys were like, can you like make sure this exports correctly? Because we're not sure we can fit all of this on here.
all right, so guys, can I play the Japanese opening? Because it looks
Go
really
for
good.
it.
Please do.
All right, let's look at it.
The Grand Rodeo opening.
までだって行けるさ誰よりも早く届く限界一体どこだまだ見えない前だけを向いて進めがむしゃらになって戦え勝ち取れるまでどうしても奪いたいなら最後まで諦めるなない場所を見つめた時仲間の想い一つになる IGPX Go for it Go on me 道場貫け決めた道なら振り向かず最高最高の最果てまで立ち止まったらそこが終わりさ
Damn, that looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed, and like, also, mind you, that you had to upscale this with all that text on there, and the text does not look like blobs, which is crazy.
It doesn't look like fuzzed out nonsense. It looks razor sharp and perfect. And
it was worth moving to YouTube for that.
Yeah. Oh, I want to say, the footage on YouTube is like we can actually show comparisons now, and they actually look like comparisons.
Right.
I'm shocked.
So before we get to this, I wanted to ask Brady, you know, there's the situation with the show was that there were two cuts made, right?
Correct, yeah.
So yeah, that it's the Toonami and the internet or the Japanese cut from Production IG, right?
Well, it's kind of like there's the Toonami cut and then there's the Production IG cut.
Okay.
So
well, I wanted to mention that both of the cuts are set on separate discs, and they are both upscaled separately, so you have both of the options to watch whichever version of the show you want.
Correct. So the way we ended up doing it is the masters we got were the IG version, and so we Astro's all that, and then we found anything that was in the Toonami version from the masters we had before, and then we also Astro's that and gave that stuff a little more TLC. There's very minor stuff that you had to pull from the Toonami version, mostly the intro, the intro, some of the bumpers, stuff like that. Like not a ton of stuff, and there was maybe 1 or 2 scenes where they did some extra stuff. And otherwise, like we did with the Digimon movie, we recomposited any of the changes they did on the Toonami side. There's like in one of the later episodes, there's like digital kind of like tights that they added to it, and so we recreated that faithfully. It's a show though that the cuts, the Toonami version's a little faster, has different music. There's not really like content censorship or anything like that. I mean, my personal favorite version is the Toonami version of it. So I just because you know, that's the version I saw, and it's got the Ninja Tune music and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. It's got a different vibe, but there's like content wise, it's not like there's anything censored or anything in the Toonami version. It's more just a different pace, I would say, a different pace to the race.
And it was suggested to me, don't forget to highlight the absolutely insane voice cast. I saw people reacting who were not that familiar with this show, and yeah, that is Sora from Kingdom Hearts, and you know, the little boy who saw dead people as the main character, Takashi, Hynden Walsh, film and TV actress as Amy. That Michelle Rodriguez, the lady who is in 2 #1 movies in America, worldwide actually, this year, playing Liz. Lance Henriksen as their coach, Andre. And one of the heavies earlier in the series, Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, is in that cast. And there are even a few others beyond this, and also all of your favorite Los Angeles voice actors from that great early 2000s scene, like Steve Bloom and Kari Walgren, they're all in this too.
Tom Kenny's in there.
Tom Kenny's, yep.
I think people would know Hynden Walsh as Starfire from Teen Titans. Titans cartoons.
Yeah,
like they would probably know her from that.
Yep. Yeah, but that's absolutely sick voice cast, and blown away by how good this show looks. And I was just like, this is not my favorite show, but I have always admired how interesting it is, and how hard they went, and how hard they tried to make something new. You know? Oh, it's very cool.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention Optimus Prime himself. Peter Cullen is the narrator.
Yeah. Because of course Peter Cullen at the time was the announcer for Toonami itself, so of course it made sense to have him be the narrator of the series.
Yeah, this is a cool show. I mean, it's of the era of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, so it's the animation's similar. And a lot of the same production stuff, but yeah, it's a real neat thing, and I'm glad that we were able to do this in HD. We were able to figure out a way, because it was very hard to figure this out. Like I think Justin and I talked about like how do we do this for like 2 hours, like just even trying to figure out like how to approach it, even right. And it was
a lot of puzzle pieces to fit together.
Yeah, but it looks great, and it's improving right now. So hopefully soon, hopefully we can date it soon.
Okay, guys, for real, we got one more announcement, and it's kind of big and kind of interesting. And this is a 2000s shoujo comedy, big fan favorite, and we gave it the AstroRes treatment. So let's first see how it looks with the opening. Oh, I love this show, man. It's so cute and funny. What if there was a tall queen and a short king? It's lovely complex, and it's coming to Blu-ray. And so
literally a few years in the making, this one.
Yeah.
We Toei Animation sent us the masters for this, and they were really good, and they were in standard def, and so I IVTC'd them, and I put them through the upscaler, and I went, this looks awful. The reason is, if you notice, it has this really light, delicate line work in much lighter colors than most anime. And it just, every method other than AstroRes just completely face-planted on them. But AstroRes to the rescue, and it looks amazing. It looks like it was animated yesterday. It's so detailed, except it's 4:3, and we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's of that era. But hey, you know, all 24 episodes on 2 Blu-rays, And Japanese with subtitles. And, well, there's something else special about it. So let's look at a clip from the show.
Wait, why are you here?
That's exactly what I want to know! Oh man, this is so unfair. I forgot that you're stupid.
You're in here too, so yeah.
I'm in here for scoring Z's, not scoring F's.
What, and that makes you better than me?
Yeah, I didn't flunk out.
Snoring's more embarrassing.
Lively as ever, you two. This gonna be an all-summer comedy act?
Listen, we're not a comedy act, you hear? Nobuko, let's switch seats.
Nobuko.
Darling.
I don't want to sit near a boy.
Yeah, I guess I get that. Ugh. Your summer is ruined. I wonder if we'll meet any cute boys.
Excuse me. Sorry I'm late.
There you are. I haven't taken roll yet, Suzuki, so you're safe. All right, let's start. Abe.
Here.
Endo. Here. Omachi.
Here.
Ida. Perfect. Bueno.
Here.
Hey, do you mind if I sit behind you?
Please, go right ahead. I'd be honored, actually.
If you sit behind Risa, good luck seeing the chalkboard, dude.
Shut your face, Otani! Sorry, I'm so tall.
Don't worry. It's cool. You're fine.
I'm fine? More like he's fine. Maybe this will be a good summer after all.
Like that little devil expression at the end. So this is a show that doesn't just look good, it sounds good, because we got an all-new English dubbed version by our buddies at Sound Cadence. Pretty cool. And yeah,
this is the longest. Yeah, this is the longest thing we've ever dubbed, and it's only because they love it. It's this. I think this is one of Marissa's favorite shows.
It's Amber's, I believe. It was
is it Amber's?
Yeah. She really. I was on the thread. She really wanted to do this. She really made this work, and that's why she's like such a huge fan.
Gotcha. And it really shows because the dub is so good.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, Marissa did a ton of work on this, so yeah.
That's why I thought it was hers.
Yeah. No, she did a ton of work on this, though. But
we're going to talk about the cast in a second, but yeah, I'm sure they're going to tell the story on their social channels. But Sound Cadence took 2 solid years to get this done, because this was this was not a super high priority thing, and it was modestly budgeted, so they were able to take their time on it and work on it when they were ready to. But it took a little while, and it's finally here. And there's also some extras on this one too. Got some dub bloopers, commentaries with the English dub crew, and let's go over real quick the cast. So you got Amberly Connors as the tall queen, Koizumi, Howard Wang as Otani, the short king, Hayden Davio as Nobuko, Alejandro Saab as Nakao, Sarah Wiedenheft as Chiharu, the girl who is scared of boys, Aaron Dismuke as Roji Suzuki, the handsome boy, Tom Laughlin as Fukugawa, and there's a whole other set of leads. There's Siv Ryan as Seiko Kotobuki, Kaden Jensen as Kohori, there's Marissa, she plays Yoshioka, Elizabeth Quadenfeld plays Mayu Kanzaki, Mark Swint plays the teacher, Mr. Nakano, Johnny Matagrano as Maitake, and of course Brent Mukai as Umibozu. Wait a minute, not that Umibozu, this Umibozu.
So, this is one of those shows where it was so kind of modestly done, like you said, that they just pretty much, when they were recording other shows, they were like, hey, we have this cool thing, do you want to do a little more, do you want to do a little bit more work, and they'd pull them in to work on this.
And we also wanted to highlight this because it was so strange, and maybe we'll get the full story of this, but it's very interesting, and I think this is going to show a very interesting kind of generational divide, because there is really one weird cameo in this, a minor character who's only on screen a couple of times, and it's someone from the world of YouTube. So let's see if anyone recognizes this person's voice.
Risa, I didn't realize this until just now, but I think about you all the time. I like you.
Mine at last! Nina's mine at last! Death by hard gas and shrine and... What are you doing?
I see some people got it.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people got it, yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm an old person. I'm not going to call this guy moist critical. In fact, I'm not even going to call him. I'm not even going to call him Charlie. I don't know this man's work, but yeah.
As the Discotek Zoomer, when I found out that this dude was in our dub, I went ballistic because I grew up watching his videos on YouTube, and I still watch him to this day sometimes. So I'm just like, what? Actually, how? What? Because he's one of the biggest YouTubers like ever.
Yeah,
he's got like 13 million followers or subscribers or something. So it's like, huh? You know?
Well, yeah, because like I'm like I know Charlie's work, so I was like, when Marissa told me that, I was like, what? We need to really call that out. And like you were like shocked when I told you, like what?
Yeah, no, for real. Like I was shocked. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's perfect, too, because there's someone in the channel pointing out, well, he sounded terrible. It's just like, well, he sounded unconvincing and bad. If you watch the Japanese version of Lovecom, the character sounds unconvincing and bad in Japanese, too. It's perfect.
It's meant to be.
It's just that's just what he sounds like in real life, too, so...
yeah, it's a style choice.
Okay, but no. But like the character in the show is meant to sound like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, but... We can't go without also giving the crew of Lovely Complex their flowers. We're not going to shout out every one of them individually, but a lot of people put a lot of hard work into this show over the course of a couple of years. We know that the database animals, the otaku, are going to take screenshots of this, and they're going to go out and they're going to add these credits to places like Anime News Network and behind the voice actors and whatnot. So we wanted to make sure that people got a chance to get their shout-outs and get mentioned on the slide. But this is the cast and the crew of Lovely Complex coming to Blu-ray, dubbed in English, Astro Res, looking like it came out yesterday. So look forward to that.
A shout out again to Marissa for keeping this together, because I know this was not an easy project to figure out.
There are still people in the channel like, who is Charles White? Yeah, dude, I know, right? Me too.
Yeah, me too. I don't know.
I'm the youngin' here, so I knew firsthand.
I knew
no such excuse.
I knew because like I like hang out with younger people, I guess.
Youth?
Young people. Okay, but just to catch you up, if you came in late, missed a few of the announcements, here is the full list. Oh my god, we talked about a lot of stuff tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's why we went over 2 hours.
2 hours, baby.
Yeah, there are people like, weren't you going to do a special surprise one at the end? No, we did 4 in a row at the end. That's what we did.
Yep.
But I don't know if you guys are feeling the energy, but since this is open-ended, I did go ahead and leave up the question and answer time slide. Do you want to talk to audience?
I'm down.
We can do it too, sure.
Looks like
I will say shout-outs to the guy in the chat who asked if Belladonna of Sadness was also a Street Sharks spinoff.
Oh my goodness. I wanted to point out something I saw in the chat earlier. Without giving out any information, there was someone who was just like, see, you guys still aren't releasing any new 70s Super Robot shows. Great job, guys. Thanks a lot. All I have to say to that is wait.
The silence.
Yeah. Digimon the movie update. Okay, so Digimon the movie update is that production is pretty much done on it. I believe like David just has to like incorporate the last round of fixes, but we are currently, before we do that, we are waiting for approvals on the packaging, etc. And pretty much we can't finish it until they say, yeah, this packaging looks good. And we're currently still in the approvals phase, almost done for Digimon Season 2, and they probably will not approve the movies until Season 2 is approved. And so it's sort of like a Digimon train, and we got to get through each car. So that's how it sort of is right now.
A lot of people shouting titles at us. We cannot talk about anything we haven't announced.
Yeah, we didn't spell that out specifically, but we appreciate every piece of feedback you give us, every suggestion. But if we didn't talk about it tonight, we can't say, "Oh yeah, we'll get the rights." No, that's
not how this.
That's not how this works.
But I will say, someone asked, "How about more magical girls?" And I say this every time somebody asks this. if you want more magical girls, you gotta support the genre because historically speaking, shoujo and magical girls, if it's not like Sailor Moon or something, has always been not very lucrative. So if you want more of that, you have to show up and support the releases that we're doing. I think that a lot of people asked, how did Saint Tail do? Because that was like our first one that we did. Luckily, I got the word that it was selling pretty well. And now we're up to doing Nanoha TV, the first series. So keep it coming, guys. Like, for real, your support means a lot to these like underrepresented genres in the US market. So keep it coming, please.
Yeah, essentially just you got to keep supporting it if you want more of it. That's just how it works. Like we would not be into 10 years of Lupin if people didn't start buying our original Lupin DVDs. That's just, not how it works.
There was
one person. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say there was a guy who said, "Do you guys want to hang out?" And the answer is, "Oh, absolutely. We're always at Otakon. Come to the panel and say hi to us afterwards."
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of people talking about conventions, one asked if it was better to pre-order a title or to buy it at a convention. Buying it at a convention helps us more directly, and also just seeing it move does send a message. That said, either one of them is great, and it we get the hint either way. But it's always a couple more shekels in our pocket if you buy direct from us. Hint, hint.
Mm-hmm.
We did shout out Jose, but I can shout him out again. He's been instrumental in figuring out IGPX, working on it, doing editing, and also being the liaison between us and Turner. So he's definitely put in that is definitely his baby for sure.
What was the announcement that didn't make Otakon? Lovely Complex.
Lovely Complex.
Yes,
yep.
It was Lovely Complex. And for a few panels, we wanted to announce it, and we've been trying to announce it. But, sometimes approvals take a long time, depending on what show it is and, the production committee and the complication of the copyright situation and all that. So sometimes we really wanted, like, we actually were going to do Lovely Complex at Otakon if we got it approved in time. But unfortunately, that didn't pan out. So we had to wait until this one to do it. And we're glad we did anyway. I mean, it's finally approved and we can finally put it out.
I will reiterate this again. There's 0% chance that we as a company will redub all of Sonic X. Please stop asking that.
Yeah, I see a lot of what I can only describe as magical thinking of people saying, well, maybe they could redub this entire series. It's exceedingly unlikely we would redub anything.
If we're dubbing it, the chances are that it's 13 episodes or less in general. Yeah. The only reason why Lovely Complex happened is because they really wanted to do it, and we really found a way to do it within the meager budget we had.
Someone asked about Crying Freeman. Is the UK audio uncut, like Violence Jack never released uncensored on VHS in the UK? Actually, the only thing that was cut, it turns out, the BBFC ratings database is wrong, and the only thing that was cut was a single shot of a knife going into somebody, and there was no dialogue. So we were able to patch that.
We patched that with the Japanese audio. But I think there was one more thing. Yeah, so at the beginning of like episode 4 or something like that, or 4 or 5, I forget. There at the very beginning, there's this one scene where there's like a graphic depiction of some like death or something. That was also censored, but it also had no dialogue and it had no, so we were able to patch that one as well. So you might, if you know the history, you might notice, but we tried to make it as seamless as possible. Unfortunately, these UK tapes were never uncut, so the dub was just released as is, and we couldn't locate any uncut version of it. So we tried to patch it in as best as we could.
Honestly, you'd never know if you're just watching it casually. Thoughts on Tokyo Lab closing? Sad.
That
we had
stinks,
a
man.
good work with them. Yeah,
they were a partner for a while.
Relationship with those guys, and they did such a great job for us. Hopefully, whatever they turn into, we can still work with them. But it really, I think we got everything that we easily could get from their giant warehouse of storage space.
Yeah, our working theory is that the stuff that is left in danger of disappearing is true copyright orphans that have no living owners. And
yeah, we wouldn't be able to.
You can't
license
cut.
that
You just
anyway.
can't get it cut out of the red tape. And I mean, don't know. Yeah.
Well, it does sound like the government is trying to step in to save that stuff, correct? Like that seems to be what's happening.
Yeah, and honestly,
yeah, politicians are getting involved in that now.
Honestly, this happened in the U.S. About a decade ago, maybe a little less, and nobody noticed. And a whole lot of American films, indie films especially, got flushed, and nobody knew. And so the fact that people were even paying attention for this now, I think, is actually an improvement.
Right, for sure. I saw a question. Will Belladonna be uncut and also have both, like the same extras on both of the discs? The answer to that question is yes. It is uncut. There are there's no censorship. It is a heavy film to watch, but it is very important. So it is uncut, and also both the extras are on both the UHD and on the Blu-ray.
ACO on UHD BD, we do not have the rights for that right now. Maybe someday.
Right.
It would be great to do, but yeah, maybe someday.
Yeah. I do see a lot of people out there saying that we should have some kind of storefront or sell to more outlets than just Right Stuff and Amazon. We see that. That's very interesting. That's an interesting idea.
You have to remember how many titles are in the Discotek catalog. So any major distribution move is going to be crazy.
I think currently in print, Justin, we have about 500 or 600.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep that in mind, and keep any additional storefront would have to be stocked with product, and some of it, there's not a ton left, but it's not worth printing more, etc. So yeah, it gets crazy. So we don't want to make choices like that lightly, because it's also a lot more work, and we're still a very small crew.
Yeah.
Will IGPX be split over 2 sets of discs like the DVD, or is it done with branching? No, it's 2 sets of discs. It's 5 discs. The Toonami version, since it has less audio, is the first 2 discs, and then the IG cut is the last 3 discs, because it's got this is a show that has both 2.0 and 5.1, and then the IG cut has 2.0, 5.1 English, and 2.0, 5.1 Japanese. So that's a 3 disc. So it's a 5 disc set, and that's how it's split between the 2 different cuts.
Will Justin be my Valentine? No, it is October.
He's getting a head start, man.
Okay. Well,
and I'm sorry, Detective Conan fans. You're going to have to keep rattling TMS's cage. We were talking about it this week. We want more of it too, but it's out of our hands at the moment.
Yep.
Well,
how did Symphogear and Galgaigar sell? Pretty good.
Is Ursa Yatsura Part 4 still on the docket? Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
That's all. Like, we've already done production on it and everything. It's just waiting at the printer at this point.
Yep.
Someone wants more Canadian voice actor commentaries. That's an interesting request.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I was able to get
a ton for Cyber 6, right?
Yeah, Kathy. I was able to get Kathy because she loves Cyber 6. And she very graciously donated her time to do 2 commentaries for me. So it's sometimes hard. It depends on.
Did you get Terry Klassen on that too, or was?
So that really sucks, because I finally got contact for him right after,
of course,
finalized the disc. he got back to me, so I want to talk to him and see if he's still willing to do something that maybe we can put on YouTube or something.
Right.
Because he wrote most, like, it's interesting because he played like the main villain Von Richter, but he also wrote the most episodes. He wrote like 3 episodes of it too, and it was a prelay show. So like he wrote them. It wasn't like he ADR directed. He wrote them. So I wanted to pick his brain, because like he plays like the main villain, and then all the other villains below him, he plays most of them too, and they're like clones of him. And I wonder, like, I'm curious if that was like a purposeful choice, or if it was just like they didn't have that many actors, So like, because it's like the show's got like 6 actors total or something like really low like that. So it's interesting. I would like to pick his brain to see like what production was like, because he seems to have been, of all the writers, the most involved in it. I did get for the new set Catherine Gerzik, who's a sci-fi writer who's known. She wrote the Terra episode, which is the Feet of Clay sort of episode of Cyber 6, and she did a great commentary where a lot of the stuff in that came from. And Jono Howard did his 2 episodes, and he's more well known for he did a lot of cartoon writing. He wrote a lot of the Ed, Edd n Eddy episodes, if you ever remember that cartoon, which is also a Canadian cartoon. But yeah, like we were able to get the like actual writers of the episodes, but no, Terry was not. And hopefully, maybe I can get him to do something in the future if he's able. But yeah, he was very hard to get a hold of. He's not really like a social media person, I don't think. Like I ended up having to like find like a private email of his and get in touch with him.
Any updates on Digimon Adventure 2? No, not yet. Still working on that. Hopefully it'll be soon.
Will you be
yeah,
selling?
Brady mentioned that it was waiting for approvals.
Yeah, the packaging, which is the hurdle, is super close to being done. There's 2 little tweaks I had to do with the last round, and we're waiting for the Digimon people to look at it and let us know if it's good or not. So hopefully.
Yeah. Digimon takes a while. It's an active franchise and people care about it a lot, so everyone has to dozens of people have to check it over in Japan. Somebody asks about the Gunbuster commentary. People might have remembered that we did announce a commentary with Jonathan Clements that we were unfortunately not allowed to include. I just, between you and me, I may have uploaded that on my private YouTube channel. So just take a quick search on that after we're done here. It's up. It's all up.
It's not only if you want to learn about that show, it's like a must listen. If you're even interested in Gunbuster even a little bit, go listen to that commentary.
Yeah, it broke my heart not to be able to include it, but
yeah.
I get it. Japan was like, we can't fact check this. There's so much here, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to either.
Yeah, but if you go to Justin's YouTube, it syncs to the Blu-ray. So if you want to play you're listening to it, you can just sync it right. It will play through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone asked a ways back, like, what is the process like for rescuing old kids shows? Like, how do you source masters for those? That's an interesting question. Because some of them we've had to look for interesting places to find masters. Others we've had to Frankenstein masters together.
Yeah, the problem has been a lot of times the licensor does have the English version, but might be missing a few episodes, or we have to locate a DVD and just use the audio from that and then recut it from the Japanese to match it. We've had to do all sorts of weird stuff.
Well, the big problem is that Digibeta as a format is degrading faster, I would say, than you would imagine, right? Like, because it's that when you dump them, a lot of times they have a ton of dropouts in them, and you have to go back to fix them.
It varies wildly on depending on how well they were stored, and and honestly, it's a dice roll every time you get a tape in. Sometimes it might just have I just did a tape the other day that was completely clean. Other times it's just full of just show-stopping, crackles and static and who knows what else. So you do what you can, and we spend hours and hours and hours patching this stuff up. We really do.
For what was it, Ultimate Muscle? That.
Oh my god, I still get flashbacks.
Well, you were like, I don't have anything to patch this with, and I was finding you like, well, here's these VHS rips, and here's these Japanese DVDs, and like you were like pulling from anything you could possibly pull from to make it work, to clean it up. I was like, this Ultimate Muscle reminded me of Cyborg 009, and
oh yeah,
you had to do to it.
Very similar. I spent about an equal amount of time screaming into a pillow. I don't scream.
Ronin Warriors is very similar to that, where it was very hard to restore that.
I did see folks showing a lot of love for Ultimate Muscle in the channel, so People who
It's a
needed
cool
that
show.
in their lives have found it. Oh, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah. What's the hardest part of
Yeah.
the job? For me, it actually is all the fixing of all the things wrong after a disc comes back from QC.
Me too. It's not that it's hard. It's just like, ugh.
Well, it's very time consuming. It's really kind of a kludgy process. We've tried to simplify it over the years, but you just can't simplify it that much. And it's like a constant mental battle of like, is this worth fixing? Can I fix this? Can I just let this slide? Oh God, no, I can't let this slide. I'll come back to something, an episode I consider done days later and go, I can't live with this like this. And it's like I named my company Media OCD or something.
Yeah, 100%. Like, God, that was me on the Digimon movie. Just no.
I remember. I mean, we've all been through that. I literally just did that with Futakoi.
Right.
A show, mind you, I'm a gay man. I do not care about Futakoi. But I literally was like midnight, laying in bed, sweating, like, I have to fix that. I can't let this go out like that.
I was just like, wow, you are really putting a lot of effort into this, aren't you?
I'm just like, I can't let it go this way. I can fix this.
Well, you like anime fans, and like that there is somebody out there who that's their favorite show, and like if you just kind of half-ass it, like you'll disappoint somebody. And we all know the thing is the reason why we're like that is because we've all been disappointed in some favorite show of ours or one or another that came out like that, right?
Yeah, it's true. I did see a lot of questions regarding Tokusatsu, like how's it doing, how's it selling. Well, I have one thing to say, and that is just you wait.
Yeah. Oh man, we're the thing about
the
Tokusatsu
thing about
is
the thing about our our announcements about Toku being very slim at the moment is that and I believe this has been covered before, but these shows are so long, take so long to translate, that oftentimes we get these shows, but they're just not ready in time. They're just not ready to be announced. And for the most part, that is still the case. Thankfully, we got Hurricane Polymer on the way, as you guys saw. So we got like one thing ready enough to be announced, but there is more. There will be more. There's a lot. So be patient, please.
Yeah, like we said in previous streams and panels, this stuff is far enough out that we don't want to announce it now because then you're going to be waiting for a half a year or more, and we want it to be right around the corner when we announce it. That's how we like it.
50 episode series take a while.
The secret is that like when we do these streams, usually unless it's a special thing like Gunbuster or something that we really want to get the word out about, these things are like 3 to 4 months down the pike, almost done, almost completed, right? Because we want to tell you about them, get you hyped up, and then you'll be able to buy it as soon as possible. Like that's kind of how we roll.
Is it possible for you guys?
Oh, sorry. No, how many episodes are going to be in Jarenko Chie? There are 65.
Yep. Is it possible for you guys to put some Netflix originals on Blu-ray? No.
I mean, it would be possible, just we would be broke.
Very unlikely,
Yeah. Very unlikely.
Someone in the channel keeps asking about the second half of the Japanese Metabots, and that's in the pipeline, right? It just hasn't come out yet?
No, it's been out for ages.
Really? Okay, then
yes.
I don't know why he's asking.
Well, also, what about Zero the Enforcer?
Oh, yeah. I think we just got word that Metabots Spirits is not currently out.
It's not?
Is it not?
I don't think it's been released, guys.
Hold on.
It may have come through the pipeline. I know we announced it, but...
Yeah, we definitely announced it.
Yeah.
Let me go to Right Stuff. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh. Now I'm sad again.
Here's a question. Why don't you guys do English credits? Okay, so here's the thing.
Fair. Fair question.
Very fair.
Complex.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. So I also had this concern. And, starting with Aim for the Ace, another match, every single Discotek release going forward is going to have our staff credits, like the people that worked on our disc specifically. Now, As for Japanese staff and cast, I understand that a lot of people would like to know that information as well. And I do credit rolls, like full credit rolls, as detailed as I can for works that have been released in English and have dubs. Those all usually have like full credit rolls that I like literally spend days doing. I do not have the time currently to do it for everything. So sub-only releases usually, well, from going forward from Aim for the Ace 2, only have our staff credits, with a few exceptions here and there. I wish there was more time to translate all the credits for everything that we do, but there's so much output that I just can't. And I prioritize the stuff that has English dubs and things like that. So I tried my best, and I do realize this is a fair concern, and it was a concern to me too. So I try my best to do as much as I can.
I will say that even though sometimes we have to do like long or bridge rolls, or kind of like, for instance, for Ursa Yatsura, we did do a roll. It just is we have a roll that is like every single sort of staff that we could put together for all the entire series. And it is pretty in depth, but like sometimes that's the best you can kind of do within the budget and within the time you have. But I will say that like compared to a lot of other companies that release sub-only stuff, we do credit more often than most other companies, I think. Like I think we're more vigilant with that.
Some people keep asking about the remaining Project ACOs on the versus battles. Unfortunately, those are in licensing hell. We cannot find the company that produced it went out of business. We don't know who owns it now.
I mean, even though they're not really that good, I know we would love to do it, but yeah, like it's just kind of impossible currently.
Yep. Chia the Brat film is not included.
No, that is a separate license
from a different licensor, and I'm not sure if it's available.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to get that. But so someone asked about dual extras. As far as the extras go, everything that was on the Japanese DVDs, not the laser discs, are on there. I understand that there are unique extras on the Laserdiscs. We were not able to source those.
Somebody keeps asking about the IGPX miniseries. Most likely, but we cannot 100% confirm that. As for Beautiful Dreamer, we have no news on that currently, so please stop asking.
Should do a Discotek industry panel at Anime Expo. Oh God, that means I'd have to troll through Anime Expo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anime Expo is the big date on the calendar, but it's so hard to do that show as a professional.
I mean, I go there every year, but like just crossing the convention is just I don't. There's not enough caffeine.
I could not do that convention if I didn't have like an industry badge. There would be no way. You would die. Like our like sort of company friend Shoko Ono, who's a old school translator, came to hang out with me, and she was in the line for like 3 or 4 hours, and I was like, I wish I could. Like, I didn't have the chutzpah to like sneak her in, and I was just like, I didn't know the line was like this, and it was just ridiculous. I was like, no way. If I wasn't working the show, I could never do that show.
So I saw someone ask about the Sailor Moon live action show. I actually asked about this specifically and was told that it is not available for licensing.
One of those. These things happen.
Someone asked about Anime NYC. I'd actually love to go to Anime NYC, but I am always way too busy in December.
Yeah, November and December. I ordinarily try to make it there, but exhibiting it is a problem. It's very competitive, so I don't think we would ever get a dealer's table there. And I was in Australia, and I missed a cutoff for a professional badge, so wasn't able to make it this time.
Lovely complex. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say somebody's asking like, what would you like to see redubbed? I don't have two that I wouldn't want to see redubbed. I have two I'd love to dub, which would never happen, are Kyoso Giga and Sega Hard Girls are the two that I would love to dub if I had millions of dollars, but they'll probably never happen.
It's Lovely Complex looks like it's going to be the longest dub you've done yet. Do you think you'll do any others of similar length? Not anytime soon. The only reason we were able to do a show that long is because Sound Cadence really worked with us because they loved that show so much. It's really kind of a unique thing that we were able to do that at all, but it was just a labor of love for everybody involved.
And on a similar note, Justin, someone asked, how much usually does it take to, like, the cost to dub an episode? I think that depends on what it is and the studio doing it, right?
Yeah, overall, no comment, but
yeah, seriously,
a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it also varies too, depending on like how many voices you need too.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah, and the reason why LoveCom happened is the reason I said, like, they told us up front, hey, this might take us a long time to do on this budget, and they literally would, like, if somebody came in to do some other show, they would say, hey, do you want to come in and do this bit part? And that was how they were able to kind of afford it, you know. And it's not a lot of companies are afforded the luxury of being able to say, yeah, you can take a year or two to dub this whole show, right? Like, so
yeah,
it doesn't often happen.
Like, this is a thing that, you know, it was like a very much like, oh, we'll work on it on our free time when we have nothing else going on kind of thing.
Is King Gainer owned by Sunrise? Yes. How are they as distribution partners? We love all of our distribution partners.
Seriously.
I mean, what are we going to do? Say they're you know, terrible and that's not a good thing to do.
So
and they're not. They're great.
Yeah. So Lupin Part 2 is all out on DVD if you want it. And Part 3 is all out on Blu-ray. I know somebody keeps asking, will you ever dub Lupin Part 3? And we will likely never dub Lupin Part 3. It's way too long. It's like 60-some episodes, 50 episodes.
Nor will we finish Part 2.
Yeah, that's one that we actually looked at trying to figure out if we could do it or not. And like the situation with Lupin Part 1 is that TMS wanted to dub that, and so it was kind of like at their behest that it was done. Part 2 would be a different story. Like we looked at trying to do it, and we would literally have to do like those final episodes. We would have to do like really short, like 8-episode sets or something like that to make it the cost of it work. And nobody's gonna buy like an 8-episode Blu-ray. Like, it just wouldn't really work. So that's like a very like unlikely thing to happen.
A lot of the time with Lupin stuff specifically, it won't be us who decides to dub it. It will be TMS. And TMS, through them being a Japanese company, is able to subsidize some of the cost of dubbing, which we can't do because we're not a Japanese company. So they get that benefit that we don't.
Yeah, if you ever see that logo at the end, that's like FLOT or whatever, that is a subsidy. And any of the productions that use that subsidy, it's for like the spreading of Japanese culture all over the world. Any shows that have that subsidy have to have that credit on it. And if you look at like the end of, say, like Lupin Goodbye Partner or Prison of the Past, it has that logo. And so they can do that. And that's the same thing that happened with Part 1. They were able to... while we helped with Part 1, they were sort of the company that officially did it, and that's why they were able to get the JLOD subsidy. We'd sometimes dub Lupins if they're really good, and it's one we think will sell better, like Episode 0 or the Golden Treasure of Babylon or those ones. We've done a few, but yeah, that's... We only do a few Lupins, and usually it's like maybe one a year that we do. So that's kind of sort of how it rolls out.
I don't see a lot more questions we can answer. Just more people shouting titles at us that we can't talk about.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah. Were the Asian English dubs for Digimon just impossible to get? Yeah, those were dubbed for like not only Animax, but like there are some weird dubs of the Digimon movies which were like on Disney XD Japan or something like that, which they were just too complicated to even try and figure out the rights. I will say that for some of these Digimon dubs that were done in America, it has been hard to find the materials and the figure out the rights and everything. Like the whole reason we ended up redubbing the first 3 Digimon movies to begin with is because when we started the project, we had no idea if we would be able to include Digimon the movie. So like we were already in the process of starting to do that stuff, and then we got the rights, we got the okay to do Digimon the movie, and then include that, and then we were just like, well, we'll just keep on with these 2. We think people will like this, and it seems to have been a success. So, so it's like one of those things where even the American versions of these, the ones people know, have been hard to find and hard to source and hard to approve. So getting these other Asian dubs would just be impossible.
Yeah, and for not just for Digimon, but for anything really, those Asian English like Animax dubs are just, we can't really get the rights to them. So it's just
Japan basically lets them make those without much supervision because it's just for Southeast Asia, and they basically don't want them used elsewhere most of the time.
Yeah, and I know for Ursa Yatsura, we had figured out that they had done 53 of them and all this stuff, but there was some weird thing where they didn't want it. They didn't want the SD version synced up to the HD version for some reason. That was like their concern, which I didn't understand it, but that was why they said, well, you can't include this. So we can't really, if they don't want us to do something, we really can't do it.
Does stuff with a dub sell better than stuff with only Japanese? Depends a lot on what. If it's a show that was aired on US TV in dubbed form, that usually sells orders of magnitude better than the subtitled version. If it's like a newer show that's more otaku-ish, it's a little harder of a call.
I will say classics with a dub most likely sell better. Like if it has that classic dub that somebody knows.
Right.
They'll probably go for that. Yeah. I know that Mr. Discotek has said that it is better to have a dub and not a dub if a dub exists. Even if a dub is a like horrible dub, he will like to include it.
A bad dub is better than no dub.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So one more thing I saw was Tokyo Lab is closing. Are there any more Vault releases? I think we're done with those. Like we don't have anything else from there.
We got everything that we had or could get the rights to. So yeah, that chapter might be closed, I'm afraid, which doesn't preclude other things like Goku or Crying Freeman, where the Japan side took care of it for us. But stuff that we could get, we got.
Some people that we can talk about Macross, where everything Macross is already licensed by other people, so we will not get Macross anything really.
Is there a Mrs. Discotek? Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
She's
yes,
lovely.
And she's a very nice lady.
She's awesome, yeah. And don't cross her because she's also badass.
She will chase your ass down.
Let's see here. Are you guys hiring? I will say that when it comes to Discotek, if you have the skill we need, we'll hire you. That's how Xcorda works, right?
Yep.
Like if you have the skill we need, we will hire you.
So Jade 9 Trilogy just lost forever? To us it is. Sorry.
Did Discotek have its own store? I don't think so. The only thing was the eBay store, but that seemed to have gone as well.
Yeah, he'll bring it back when he's not doing conventions, but that's seldom.
Right. We do go to a lot of conventions throughout the year.
Is Cyber City Oedo out of print? I don't think so.
No, it's not out of print. It is way not out of print. The crappy old master version of it might be out of print, but the Steelbook one, which is the one you want anyway, you should be able to still get that.
Yeah.
Any way to get a replacement slipcase? No, we cannot get into replacing people's slipcases. That's just a bridge that we cannot cross because we have too many discs to do that for people. Sorry.
Not just that, but also we're not the one that makes them.
Also that.
People were asking about Retro Game Master, and from what I understand, even outside of Discotek, is that it's a very hard thing to relicense, and that was a really weird thing that it got licensed in the first place. As much as I love that show, it's such a cool show. It's known as Game Center CX to most people. Like, I would love to bring that back, but it's one that I don't think is going to happen.
It is a great show. Like, that is a shame if that's true.
I just think it's like too hard to license it. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, here's a good question. What would you do when you noticed a bunch of comments from this one user who keep asking you to redub the entire Zatch Bell series for some reason?
We ignore them.
Yes, that's the answer.
Or somebody keeps asking if we're gonna license anything that's like an American cartoon that's not from Invincible. We're not like some like we don't just go for an Invincible. We license the things that are available to us and interest us. So if something that's an American cartoon interests us from another company and it is available, we'll try and get it. That's sort of how it works. It's just that, like, the titles that Invincible had that we got, were like weird cartoons that we liked. That's sort of how it worked out.
Let's see.
Will we have another Discotek announcement stream in December?
Either December or January. We haven't decided yet.
Yeah, there will be another one in like 4 or 5 months for sure.
Yep.
It really depends, honestly, like what's through the pipeline, and like, because sometimes if we do them every 4 months, you would just get like this really boring thing with like nothing really of note in it. So we try and wait for something to be like sort of special in there, a couple special things.
Folks, it's coming up towards midnight on the East Coast.
Yeah. Sorry, Mike. We forgot.
Yeah,
over here
that's
in
fine.
California.
Yeah. But we've gone almost 3 hours. So any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for following us to the Crunchyroll store. Thank you for following us to YouTube. We will keep cranking them out, and as long as you keep buying them.
Yeah, thanks for subscribing to our newsletter. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for being awesome and understanding sometimes. So, yeah, thanks for giving us work. Giving us.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. I really appreciate the not just the excitement for anime, but also for the live action stuff. I'm very much a live action person. So I'm always really excited to get to work on these live action titles that we do, and it's really great to see the support for those as well as, the bread and butter, the anime. So thank you all for that, and I hope that you enjoyed the stream and that you are looking forward to these releases that we just announced. Thank you very much.
All right.
Please enjoy the rest of your night now.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. These are always so much fun. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Take care.
Peace outside.